Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon. Um, John Numa, I see you trying to summon us, and it would have worked if not for us suddenly realizing at the last second that some people's mics were not being read by Zoom. So,
I was using a tin can and a string, so I
yeah,
had to switch it.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Drac, welcome back. It was
Thank
very
you.
sad not
We
having you.
missed you.
I'm
I
very
missed all
like
of you, honestly.
listen,
I'll be
don't get me
honest.
wrong. I'm very glad that you took time to rest. That said, I definitely missed having you here.
I definitely feel grateful taking that time to rest, but I also definitely missed all of you guys.
Yeah.
So-
So yeah. Yeah, so before we get into tonight's episode, and into the recap, just a little quick rundown of what we've got going on the rest of the week and a bit of next week. So, this Friday for Ramblemancy, we are having our guest is Chans, or also known as Chanslin Plays, one of the Emporium team leaders.
Oh, yeah.
And she'll be here for our first topicless Ramblemancy in a while. Largely because when I reached out to her to be like, "Hey, what kinds of things are you interested in, or or have areas of expertise?" She sent me so many things that I was like, "Okay, you're too interesting for us to boil this down into one topic. So we're just gonna talk and see where that goes."
Oh, God. Chance is great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm
It's gonna be
definitely going to tune in for that.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have a sort of general free for all conversation with Chance. It'll be really awesome. Yeah, John, I agree. Chance is truly too powerful. So that'll be fun. We're gonna have that conversation. Apparently I wasn't here, but apparently a lot of wild stuff went down on In Too Deep yesterday.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Apparently,
The way it ended was, whoa.
Yep.
I'm very
No
excited.
spoilers, but
yeah.
you need to watch it.
I'm very excited to catch up. That said, In Too Deep will be up on YouTube on Saturday. And of course, this very episode that you are about to watch here tonight will be up on YouTube on Friday. So those of you watching on YouTube, this part of it is very irrelevant to you. You already know. You already know it's here.
Hi, VOD Squad.
VOD Squad. All right. I think that's everything. Our for patrons, and Twitch subscribers, our end of the month media club went up last night. So if you have been looking for any recommendations for shows or any kind of media at all to check out, there's some good suggestions in there. So if you are a subscriber or a patron and in the Discord, you will have access to that. So yeah. Okay. I think
I
that
just
is...
realized I binged almost all 7 seasons of the 100 just so I'd have something to write about.
Incredible.
You know, because I watched
100
like
so fucking good.
1 to 5 with Lucas, and then we stopped at some point, so I needed to catch up. It's been a while, so I had to rewatch all that.
I stopped watching that show in college for a very obvious reason.
Yeah. All right, Olivia, save it for Ramblemancy.
That's for Ramblemancy.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
All right. Well, I think and since Drac is here, the recap cam is not going to be messed up like it was last time. So I can actually use that. It was totally a thing that I did not realize until I tried to switch over to it. I was like, that's not going to work. So, all right. Well, then let's get into tonight's recap and episode. So let's see. Okay, cool. That's working. All right, let me bring that up, and my computer might yell at me. Oh, it didn't. Amazing. Okay. So, previously on Infinite Horizon. After handily repelling the raid on Farhope, the crew of Awakener captured the first mate of the pirate ship, the Voidcaller. After relieving First Mate Creve of his numerous weapons and an unknown piece of technology, the crew locked the pirates up and pressed Creve for information. Creve revealed that the Voidcaller was protected by a network of shield ships, making it nearly impossible to damage the cruiser without first destroying its escorts. Creve offered little else, so the crew departed to meet up with the mayor of Farhope. During the meeting, Bina suggested that the settlers use Scrapyard Squadron and Awakener's firepower to render the tetrium on the planet inert, thereby removing the incentive for the corporate blockade. Though Mayor Zed was unhappy with the turn of events, he agreed to take the decision to the rest of the colony's leadership. Scrapyard Squadron was equally unenthused about destroying the bounty of tetrium on Thoria 7, but Major Krail quickly realized the necessity and immediately set his mind to planning the operation. After a brief dinner with Hooligan, the social pariah of Scrapyard Squadron, the crew had some downtime. Peach confided in Mason about feeling the stress of intense combat situations before the two began tinkering with the technology confiscated from Creve. Mason quickly discovered that the set of rings and belts granted him the ability to hover, and in combination with his own powers, Mason took to the night skies above Farhope. Elsewhere, Bina and Alma finally found a few moments to check in with each other. Bina admitted that in spite of having Alma back, she still isn't really okay, and is still reconciling who she became after their defeat at Sulan. Alma barely had a chance to respond before the two were interrupted by Vix trying and failing not to eavesdrop. Wanting to feel more useful as a member of the crew, Vix asked Bina to teach him about Awakener and its systems. Bina excitedly agreed, but before they got started, Vix took a moment to offer Alma a sincere apology for his part in her kidnapping. As Alma accepted his apology, Awakener lurched, though neither Bina nor Alma had activated the ship's systems. A swift check of Awakener's systems revealed a surprising source of power fluctuation. Vix. And that is where we left off. Also, Heart of Handprints, thank you so much for gifting all of those subs. I see you trying to distract me while I'm going through the recap. It will not work. Thank you though. Thank you so much. All right. So, tell you what. Since Drac, you weren't here last time for the downtime, we're actually going to start tonight's episode with Taeyeon. So basically right now where we're at is everybody has there's been sort of like a strategic planning session with Scrapyard Squadron to sort of determine what the next stage is. While the colonists have not yet they haven't yet made a decision, their options are limited at this point. So it's unlikely, like some of them may take some convincing, but the outcome's pretty much assured by this point. The corporations with their incentive for being here removed probably won't do anything other than just sort of leave, but the pirates will then be off the corporate leash, as it were, and free to do as they please. Chances are they're not going to be particularly fond of having nothing to show for their raids here, and will take it upon themselves to do it once the corps leave. So, with that planning session completed, all of the crew of Awakener kind of retired to an evening's meal, which went by pretty quickly and uneventfully, and so that's I think where we're going to pick up as Taeyeon, you and Ada sort of walking away from the table. She has her nose firmly buried in her terminal displays, keeping an eye on one half of it. You can see it's partitioned so that she's basically taking a look at the IFF signatures that she and Bina pulled from the shuttle, from the dropship. And on the other half, it's monitoring the shuttle's security systems, which you can see a live feed of the 21 pirates that are just all like packed like sardines into this dropship. And she's just kind of like looking this over as you're walking past.
So I think he has his helmet on right now, and the visor almost acts as like almost like an extension of his own like little tablet that he's probably looking through. And if he can, so with the Scrapyard, did the Scrapyard deal with all of the fighter pilots that the pirates sent out, or were they still?
They did,
still, like,
yeah.
cool.
They managed to mop them up pretty quick.
Okay. In that case, I think he's just like probably had like an image of the massive cruiser that the pirates had like basically parked outside.
Yeah.
And it's just like as he's walking with Ada, kind of like thinking to himself, just like, how can we take them down? They have three. We need to take out one of the ships that are called that creates the field. And I think he's kind of like mumbling to himself about how to about strategies to take this thing down with the least amount of life lost. Which I think Ada's probably pretty used to at this point.
Yeah, and like it's helpful also because you're probably both looking at the same thing. Which right now, what you're doing is looking at like the IFF displays showing like the movements of the pirate vessels.
Yeah.
And just to clarify for you, so basically, like the Voidcaller, it's still up there, but it's moved into upper atmosphere, so it's no longer like visible. But it is still maintaining a presence, and you can see on the display the 3 smaller ships that are surrounding it. And then there are numerous other dots kind of around the system, but most of them have started pulling in from the outer edges of the system, starting to concentrate. And you can tell from the displays that aside from the Voidcaller and its 3 shield vessels, they're all fighters. They all appear to be fighter craft.
Okay, in that case, that actually works. So I think he has like in the corner of his display, it has like just a maybe like live image of what you can make out of the cruiser, and then in the that main screen, he's probably like watching. If they manage to get any kind of like records or recording of it from the Awakener of the flying style, or if I can notice any flying style from the pirates when they were like just around and trying to avoid the scrapyard, and just kind of talking to himself and Ada, just like, so do you think we can do this without end up getting into another fight?
She kind of just as absently as you are. Like this is like something that's very common. The two of you having like conversations with each other where you're like half in the conversation and half on something else. So she's just sort of absently like, oh, I don't see it as very likely. I mean, it looks like I think we'll have a fight on our hands no matter what. Did you notice that most of their force here seems to be in single fighters? It's kind of interesting.
I noticed that as well, actually.
I suppose it makes sense if they're relying on the shield tech to keep their main vessel secure. It makes sense. Their weapons aren't like the Major was saying. Their weapons aren't designed for repelling fighters like scrapyards, but so they'd have to. It makes sense that they'd have to rely on fighters to.
Yeah. Pure numbers is, despite what most people think, can honestly put a fight in your favor, even if you're outskilled.
It's very true. She kind of frowns and says, "I just don't see a way around it. Even if we manage to get that shield ship down, one of those shield ships down. Which, I mean, looking at these, what little specs I've been able to pull up of them, looks like they probably aren't going to be much tougher than that gunship we took down coming in. But even if we take them down, we still have the problem of being quickly overwhelmed by fighters launching from the Voidcaller. I mean, Scrapyard are some talented pilots. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, even the most skilled pilots can be overwhelmed.
That's honestly what I'm trying to avoid. I've kind of taken a liking to some of them. They seem like good folk.
Yeah.
Do we know if the civilians here have anywhere to bunker down? Because I have a feeling that the moment we take out any of their ships, to be honest, they might fire directly downwards. Is there anywhere they can escape to?
I'm not sure. I can ask. I doubt it. But consider that I don't know that they'll risk it. I mean, they're already feeling like they're already probably, once the corpse cut and run, they're going to feel like they just sunk a bunch of cost into this place. They're going to want to get something back. So I doubt they're going to want to just destroy the settlement. They're going to want to take what they can.
Good point. I'll be honest, I sometimes forget we're dealing with pirates and not just
yeah, it does.
Opposing force. Yeah.
It makes some things simpler and some things a lot more complicated.
Well, at the very least, having them be pirates and want to get the best out of this will definitely give us more time to hopefully get people to safety. I think that would probably be our main priority. With the crew of the Awaken, I don't know how arrogant this sounds, but I think we can deal with these pirates. The thing I'm most worried about is the people who aren't the crew of the Awakener.
Yeah, me too. Still though, she kind of, you can see that she like her wings sort of twitch agitatedly, and then she just kind of like reaches up and sort of absently twirls one of her antennae. She just says, I wonder if there was a way to prevent their fighters from launching. I mean, we'd still have to take down that shield vessel because we'd never get close otherwise, but
I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but I can shunt some vessels out of time for a bit, but I don't know how that would just give us like a few minutes. I don't know if that'll be enough.
Definitely
time.
not. I mean, it's very impressive. And she grins at you, and
It's
then
very exhausting as well.
she looks down. She says, "But if the numbers that I've seen," she's like, I haven't taken my eye off this thing since Bina brought it to me, and if the numbers I'm seeing are right, there's a lot more fighters than you're going to be able to shunt away.
Yeah.
Certainly not enough to make a difference."
Do you notice if there's any signals sent whenever they sent out fighters? Anything like that seems to be like a go ahead that
I
is relayed to everyone?
haven't been able to get anything from the Voidcaller's internal communications. No.
Be tough. Have the others had any thoughts on this?
Not beyond. No, not in terms of specifics, as far as I know. I think right now the closest thing we have to a plan is take out the shield ships and hope for the best.
Yeah.
You know, a little far below our standards, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, with the crew of the Awakener, I feel like that is often enough. But yes, for our standards, especially for what we're trying to do right now with civilians' lives on the line, is not quite enough.
Yeah. It might be worth talking to Scrapyard Squadron about it. Maybe the Major would have more insights.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea actually. They seem, if I remember enough about them, it seems like they've probably come across at least some organized opposed forces before. I feel like they might have some insight on this.
Definitely. These are people who are going up against organized syndicates in the border worlds all the time, so...
Yeah.
Although usually, from my understanding, not so directly.
That honestly might be what we need right now, something a bit less direct.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly worth a conversation, I think.
Yeah. Do we want to go now, or...?
Yeah, let me, and she just sort of pulls the holographic display of her console and collapses it back into the terminal, and she glances around. She's like, "Should we? I guess we can just go."
I don't see why not. I mean, no time like the present.
Yeah. She goes, I see what you did there. And as the two of you kind of are sort of like grinning at each other, you suddenly feel the ship lurch under you.
Oh,
What was that?
Alma? I'm gonna try and like, if we have, I'm seeing we still have comms, like I want to try and like hit comms in the medium, like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Bina, Alma?
So Bina, this is just like moments at, like, as you and Alma and Vix are all just staring at each other in wide-eyed just shock. And
we have whatever conversation we have up there at the end of the last episode. You call in and you're calling into Alma and you just hear Bina giggling uncontrollably in the background.
You just hear Alma's voice be like,
Yeah, nothing to worry about. Everything's fine up here. Just had a
You're
bit
being
of a
shouting just a little bit, but like muffled.
just
What?
it's
I mean, I'm hearing Bina laughing, so I'm assuming everything's okay. But what
yeah,
happened?
everything's fine. We're still trying to figure that out at the moment. But don't worry, everything's fine. We're safe.
Out. It's August. It's fine. It's very exciting. Like, just like muffled, slightly in the background.
Ten kind of looks at Ada like, we should probably go up, right? We should probably head. Okay, yeah.
Alright, so the two of you make your way up to the bridge, and as you do, you find
You see Vina with 2 arms on, or 2 hands on Vix's like forearms and 2 hands like on his elbows, and she's like, "Can you do it? Can you feel it again? Can you tell any? Like, can you feel anything else?
like, I don't know. Hold on.
Think about it.
I can't do it with you looking at me like that. Just
Okay, I'll close my eyes. Do it.
that's worse. Stop. That's worse.
Okay, and she'll spin in
Now
a
I'm just
circle. She'll
like-
stand.
Now I'm just thinking about how you're not looking at me.
Do you want me to look at you? I can look at you harder. I can
I don't
look at you
know.
from a different angle, maybe.
What? I think there's like a scene where like me and Ada are looking at them, and then we look at each other, and then we look back at them. It's like,
Alma is just she just has like she has that kind of smile on her face, like she's trying to keep like from bursting out laughing at what's happening in front of her, but she turns and looks at you. She says, so we think that Vix might have, and she like glances at him, glances at the console, and says, I don't know, tapped into my abilities and accidentally and activated some of Awakener's maneuvering thrusters.
oh, I'm trying to gauge, is this a good thing?
It's Bina and Vix are shouting at each other in the background of the scene.
Don't shake me. That's not gonna help.
Okay, I'll hold you very still.
Could maybe just stand over there. Just
Okay. She
Okay.
stands like a foot away.
Alma goes, I mean, I don't know that it's a good or a bad thing. I think it's just a thing. Vix turns and he says, just, haven't been able to use my abilities except, he kind of looks at Bina, except to, copy hers. I haven't been able to do, this is the first time that I've been able to do anything like this since, well, before.
I do want to know how he feels. Like, through all of this, I want to
Yeah.
know where Vix has been.
He went through a series of emotions from
Yes.
shock to excitement to then fear, a little bit of like, you can feel like self-doubt, and now he's just sort of in a place where he's just a little bit like he's kind of numb right now.
Mhm.
Okay. So your ability to copy powers are coming back?
I don't know. And Alma speaks up. She says, "Okay, first thing I tried to master when I got out of the my stasis pod." She said, "See those display lights over there? See if you can turn those off." Vix just sort of goes, "Oh, okay."
Bina closes her eyes.
It's like, "Does it matter that I don't know how to do that even without powers?" She goes, "No. In fact, it might be more helpful if you don't." Okay. Okay. And you see as he like frowns and very like focuses on the indicator lights. You see as he does so, you see as one of those indicator lights sort of flickers very slightly, and that's about it. And then he just no, it's yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like I can, I mean, I can't do that, but I feel, I mean, it's like I can feel the ship a little bit. Alma nods. Says, yeah, that's how it started for me. Just knowing, being able to. This might take some time, but he kind of frowns. Says, okay, no, hold on. Let me try it again. Kind of reaches, like, frowns, in
I
concentration.
think Taeyeon like sees Bina covering her eyes. And she's like,
She's definitely peeking, but like, she's...
yeah.
Yeah. And then you watch as like the indicator light just goes off. He goes, "Ha! I did it." Huh. He looks around and says, he says, "Wait, let me see." He looks over at between Taeyeon and Ada. He's like, I know this is a weird, maybe kind of touchy subject, but can I try and see if maybe...
I'd rather you didn't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ada just sort of looks at you, Taeyeon, and then she looks at him and goes, sure, I guess. He goes, okay, all right. And he looks at her, just sort of concentrates. And then, like, you're sitting there for, like, a solid, like, 2 or 3 minutes, just completely silently. And then he goes, okay, that's not working.
I think like Taeyeon like kind of relaxes a little bit. Like I think it's definitely tense for those 2-3 minutes and goes, okay. Kind of just relaxes a tiny bit. His toe like stops like swaying so rapidly.
Yeah.
little metronome tail.
Mhm. He goes, yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely felt something shift with like when it came to using yours. And he's like gestures to Alma. Says, but with you, I don't know. I've still got nothing.
Baby steps.
Maybe it's an exposure kind of thing. I mean,
He says,
you've got Bina and Alma. They seem to, at least from what I've witnessed, they seem to be the one that uses their abilities a bit more.
at that, like Ada just sort of splits. There's now and like there's now 2 Adas standing in the entrance to the cockpit. He goes, oh, okay. Yeah, let me see. Another like 2-3 minutes or so go by. Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
He just goes, no, nothing. And he says, I don't know. It just felt like something changed. I can't explain it. It's kind of like, he looks at you, Bina, and says, it's kind of like how it feels when you sense somebody else's mood or whatever. It kind of felt like that, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's like something made sense to me suddenly.
Bite-sized chunks.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ada just sort of merges back together.
It's totally unrelated to anything, but I do want to know, when there are 2 Adas, can I feel 2 sets of emotions, or is it like Ada doubled, or
that's
is
a
it
very
just
kind
one
of
Ada?
feels like just an echo of the same thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
You just feel it twice over, but it's the same.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Like she's not wearing headphones. Is it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting feedback through, like, yeah.
I never thought about what Taeyeon said. Bina really genuinely is. She's
Yeah.
never not using her powers. I think.
Yeah,
it
that's,
was,
the thing with like it's
I never thought
Bina,
about
it
that
definitely goes
before.
Bina, then Alma,
Yeah.
then probably Peach, and everyone else. When it comes to like how much they use their
Yeah.
abilities.
I feel like there's a chance that Mason is like always like micro dosing
Yeah,
his
that's
powers,
actually a good.
like
That's actually a good point.
just
Actually,
like
yeah.
for like literally like temperature control. Probably
Yeah.
like he's always comfortable in any room. Like
Yeah, but like in little subtle
Jealous.
ways that nobody,
Yeah.
that even he doesn't notice
he
is
doesn't
happening.
notice. Exactly.
Like super homeostasis, basically.
Oh god. Vix just goes, okay, well, I mean, this is kind of a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm just gonna sit down for a little while,
Yeah.
and
good.
then and we can maybe talk about the ship a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Venus sits down next to him.
Yeah. Ada just sort of looks at you, Taeyeon, and then just turns back. And says, "We're gonna go talk with Scrapyard Squadron a little bit. Maybe try to get some strategic ideas for."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I
Okay.
will say, she like looks around at everyone and says, "I am willing, if you can figure out how, to get on someone else's ship, and because I feel like if I'm inside of it, I can do some damage or
I
reverse
don't-
fix it.
I don't doubt that.
So
I-
that is an option.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't
Definitely
know
not
if it's
letting you go on
possible.
your own, if that even is an option.
I'm the only
Definitely not
one
letting
who
you go on
can
your own.
move around without being seen. I mean, I can bring someone with me. I've done it with Taeyeon, and she'll point over at
Vic says, "Well, that's not entirely true."
That's fair. That was an extenuating circumstance. I did move through and no one looked at me.
Oh, I meant that you're not the only one.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's. I'm saying. Beeman's like putting her arms like I'm shoving that on the table as something that could potentially be helpful.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely run that with the Scrapyard Squad because I have a feeling they don't know that's such an obvious option or
Yeah.
possible option at least for us. So I'll definitely let them know about that.
Can disable anything from the inside, especially if we have comms with Ada Sprix. If me and Vix could walk around undetected, and I can get the physical stuff, and we get connected with Ada Sprix, we could take everything down from the inside. I don't know if we have a way of getting there, but
Yeah,
it'd
that's
be pretty slick.
yeah. We'll run it with the Scrapyard and see
Mhm.
if we come up with something. Yeah, it kind of like looks at Vix, just like a thing to say congratulations for or condolences.
Unclear.
Okay, well, keep it up.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay. He just kind of looks at Ada like, I don't know, and just start leaving.
Yeah. All right. We'll go ahead and cut to that then. We'll cut to you. Last episode, just using the chaos of the battle and the distraction that the Voidcaller had with the illusory regulator ships that Peach pulled down. Scrapyard Squadron was able to get one of their shuttles from the derelict down planet side with a whole crew of basically just maintenance crew for their fighters.
Yeah.
So as you basically step out into sort of like the clearing just outside of the settlement, where just a little earlier today you fought off the pirates. You kind of move over towards where they're like most of Scrapyard Squadron's fighters have touched down. Outside, it is raining as the storm has made its way here. And oops, hold on. As you step over, you can see that there have been sort of like temporary like canopies set up over some of the spaces in between the fighters so that the maintenance crews can basically work without getting soaked through. And hold on, just set this up. There we go. And yeah, so as you approach, you can see where Major Krail is standing with the captain, and they're sort of they're speaking with one of the maintenance crew, which as you approach you recognize Alel Laura, Bina's mentor, and they're sort of having a conversation as you walk up. Alel is just saying, Yeah, it should be no problem. We should be able to have everything patched up and fixed by tomorrow, but you are going to want to watch that port side stabilizer. It's it's in need of replacing, but we'll have everything set up and ready to go by the time morning comes around. All right, thank you, specialist. Get some rest. He turns and he sees you. He says, "Just making sure everything's ready for tomorrow, just in case."
Yeah, no, that's very fair. Definitely need all of our equipment working at the optimal functionality, so I understand that for sure. I hope I'm not interrupting anything else. I mean, I can just wait if there's still things you want to discuss.
Just want to discuss some mission parameters, because if that's the case, I think we could use a plan as soon as possible.
Actually, yeah, that's actually why we're here. I was kind of like, is there like anywhere to sit?
Yeah, like, actually, tell you what. He gestures over towards the shuttle, that they came down in, and as the four of you walk over to the shuttle, stepping inside, you can see that basically the entire interior, where it would normally be sort of like a small cargo hold of the shuttle, has been sort of converted into sort of a makeshift barracks for Scrapyard. And like crates and stuff have kind of been piled to use as tables. You can see where there's a couple of members of Scrapyard at one of the makeshift tables playing cards, and the captain walks over and she just looks down. She says, "Clear the table. We've got business." They look up at her and like, "Oh, come on, hotshot. You're really gonna make us move?" And she says, "Well, I could make it in order." They look at each other and just, "All right," and they just like pull the cards off the table and vacate. As
Even Taylor just kind of like smiles and like shakes his head a little bit because like this is his squad would do the same. They'd complain as well.
yeah, so you settle yourselves down on the oops, that's not what I meant to do. Hello. And suddenly there's a hurricane. No.
Oh, God.
Suddenly there's a hurricane. No. Yeah, you settle yourselves down at the table, and the captain says, "So, do you have anything specific in mind?"
Honestly, no. My instinct is to go direct full of force and take out the ships, at least one of the ships that are keeping up that field around the vessel. But if we do that, I've seen your fighters. You're all incredibly skilled. Probably the best I've seen in quite a while. But they have numbers on us, and even that would probably overwhelm even the likes of you.
Yeah, we've been noticing that. We've also noticed that they only seem to be able to scramble a couple of flights at a time, which is good and it's bad. It's good in that if they're not expecting us coming, there's a limited response that they'll have, that they'll be able to level against us. And chances are they probably won't even bother until they realize what we're up to, trying to take out one of the shield ships. The downside is that we still have to take that shield ship down, and by the time we are able to do that, even by our most optimistic projections, they'll have been able to launch quite a few flights. So
yeah, I think,
or wings.
I think our best option is to somehow get our people, at least some of the Awakener, specifically Bina, our pilot, onto the ship. They can take some things out from the inside, but I don't know the extent. At least I personally don't. It kind of looks at Ada. I don't know if you do, but do you know the extent of the sensor equipment they might have, or is it still like completely blank with what?
The captain and the major kind of exchange a glance, and Major Krail turns to you and he says, that might be difficult. While their exterior weaponry isn't it's not designed to take on snub fighters like ours, so we'll have no problem evading their fire. Your ship, on the other hand, it's going to be a lot harder to get in under that. Can be done, but it had to be very carefully, and landing is out of the question.
I mean, with Bina as our pilot, even just Alma, I could see it being feasible.
Even if you're able to get in under all their weapons fire, I've seen ships of that design before. They may not have anti-fighter weaponry on the outside, but inside they definitely have boarding repellers.
Mm.
That you wouldn't get barely the nose inside the hangar before they blasted you to nothing.
This is a tough one. I'll be honest. Usually I'll go in missions like this with stealth already on our side, but they're definitely fully aware that we're here at this point.
Having the IFF in our favor will allow us at least to spring the attack with the element of surprise. They won't see us coming until we're in visual range. We'll be able to pass ourselves off as allied craft for a while, and that might confuse them enough to give us the advantage, but once it becomes clear that we're not allies and what we're up to, that's when the real fight starts.
Yeah, no, I figured. I'll be honest. I'm trying my best to think of a way to avoid the fight, but even Ada has said that seems like a fight is inevitable.
Ada's frowning in this point. She says, I could. Well, that doesn't really help us either, because we still need to get somebody inside. I could theoretically code a virus to target their launch systems, but we'd still have to get it inside and plant it.
This would be perfect if we had Becca.
You just hear a just sort of soft from behind you, Taeon, and you turn and look, and you can see hold on, I forgot his ring. The human sergeant, dark brown skin, sort of curly, thick hair that's been sort of cropped down very close. This is Sergeant Kenson Benoit. Who you met when you first met Scrapyard. He says, I actually think perhaps I have a way. It's not advisable, but forgive me. I did not mean to eavesdrop.
No, Sergeant, this is. Please, I'm definitely all ears.
He nods and he says, I drank with a regulator in a bar some time ago, and he told me stories about their drop troops, and how they would often take on pirate vessels by dropping their people on the surface of the vessel and allowing them to avoid any kind of fire. It's possible that if they come down like they did before, for a little bit of intimidation tactics as they did, we might be able to use that to our advantage and quickly drop a small team on the surface. Then they could make their way on along the hull to the hangar bay. It'd be a lot less risky than trying to land a craft.
That's a good idea, actually. No, yeah. I would say that I'm a bit worried because I don't know how much experience they have at this, but they're also the crew of the Awakener. I think at the very least, Bean will be fine. I mean, no, I think that's a good idea, but you did mention that it would be a bit hard for the Awakener itself to get close by, and he kind of like turns to the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Would we get close? Getting close enough for that kind of maneuver be possible?
She frowns for a moment, seemingly kind of doing the calculations in her head, and she goes, "Well, I guess I wasn't really accounting for a craft not trying to land. I mean, it'd be risky for whoever's... I mean, essentially, you'd be pulling off a maneuver where people would be jumping out of a moving vessel at near top speed, but if you can find some way to account for that, if your pilot's as good as I've seen and as good as you say she is, I think
no.
theoretically that might work.
Yeah, I think pilot-wise, I'll be honest, I think we're good. I don't think that would be too much of an issue. So, no, yeah, I think this is a good idea. I mean, I hope Bina's up for jumping out of a speeding vessel. I think that's the the main issue there. But no, I think I could definitely run this by them. This seems like a indirect enough approach that it won't immediately cause a fight at the very least.
The major speaks up and says, "Oh, don't get me wrong. By the time we get to this, we still have to take their shields down to even be able to get close enough to do that. So, fight's inevitable one way or the other. But at least this way, we're limiting what resources they can bring to bear against us, and if we can prevent their ships from their fighters from launching any more than strictly necessary, we could probably hold our own against the others, and then they'll basically have no recourse against us. They'll effectively be prisoners in their own ship."
I like the sound of that, honestly. Ada, see any problems with this?
She shakes her head. She says, "No, I mean, any virus that I code should be pretty much plug and play, so... I mean, aside from all the obvious problems of it being suicidal, I think it's fine."
I mean, yeah, but I don't think I can remember any mission where it hasn't been.
Oh, that wasn't a
suicidal, can you?
criticism. That wasn't a criticism. I really don't think we have another choice.
No, you're right. Do you want to go with? It is your virus, and you probably, just in case something goes wrong, you might have more of an understanding of how to fix it.
I could. It might be better, actually, if I do. Better me than Bina, actually, because... frankly, I'm not sure that anybody but Bina is gonna be able to fly that ship anywhere close enough. And then there's the matter of getting everybody off the ship. But, you know.
That's also a good point. I mean, I will say, if you're going, I am also going. That's obvious, right?
Yeah, I know.
Good. We'll probably have to run this by Bina, because she seemed a bit excited about being able to board this ship. We'll probably have to run it by her. But either way, I think I think we've got this.
The major nods and says, "All right. My people will be ready."
We'll keep you updated if anything changes, but sounds like this is probably going to be the plan.
Sounds good. I'm scrambling a couple of our fighters as soon as dawn breaks, and we're gonna go and immediately, as soon as we get any kind of indication from the settlers that they've agreed, we're gonna start sending fighters to take care of those tetrium deposits.
Sounds good.
All right.
Have a good night.
You do the same. And the three of them kind of Benoit sits down with them, and the three of them, the ranking officers of Scrapyard Squadron, sit down and sort of put their heads together and start seemingly drawing up plans and the like.
Yeah, and Taeon heads out with Ada. For
Okay.
sure. And I think as he heads out, he kind of like turns to Ada and is like, "I'll be honest, that was a lot of fun. I haven't talked to other commanders for a very long time. It's been I really do appreciate the almost democracy that the Awakener has, but there is something different about talking to fellow commanders and sergeants, and
There's something comforting
kinda
about
miss it.
there's something comforting about having a chain of command.
Yeah, there really is. There really is. It kind of does kind of talking about that, good times that haven't happened yet, technically.
Yeah. Is there a word for reminiscing about something that has yet to happen but probably will happen?
And we'll think of a word.
Yeah.
Future nostalgia?
All right.
Future nostalgia.
So, the two of you head back to Awakener, with sort of your heads buzzing with the plan. Anybody have any other specific things that they want to do before we push forward some time? Actually, yeah,
I'd
actually,
like to land.
yeah.
Yeah, Mason and I are still
You've
outside
been
in the
flying.
rain.
So like essentially like you probably wouldn't have passed Peach on the way out because like she was sort of like wandering around like looking up for like looking at Mason, but as you come
Yeah.
back you do see Peach once again taking shelter under Awakener's nose.
I'm
And-
probably like soaking wet at this point.
yeah,
Oh.
just like staring upwards at the sky. And
Peach, are you okay? You're probably gonna catch a cold if you sit out here. You good? And kind of looking up like, what's she
Taeyeon,
looking at?
look.
she points up and you can see sort of the sky is completely dark and you're not seeing anything for a second. And then there's very suddenly you see like the flash of lightning and silhouetted in the sky, like but like with the flash of lightning in the background, you can just see the form, like a humanoid form up in the, just sort of suspended in the air with sort of like wearing some sort of long coat that's just sort of flapping around them.
Is that? Wait, is that?
Mason.
It
is.
How? I don't remember this in the books. How?
He stole from a pirate.
At this point,
That didn't help me at all.
At this
What,
point,
how?
Mason, you come down, landing just to the side of Awakener, sort of, yeah.
Kind of just like flap my legs. I'm like, okay, wow.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
How do you feel? How did you do that? Is that a new?
Oh yeah, no, I took this from Kriv. It can float or help you levitate. I adapted. I did something. My body did a thing. My mind, my
Juiced
everything.
it.
Did yeah. So I don't really understand it either, but it works. I can
You
fly.
just flew.
Yeah.
Like
No,
in
yeah,
the
you
sky.
just flew. That's a whole. That is very useful.
You didn't get to test the lightning theory though, did you? I
Lightning
didn't see
theory?
It.
What?
Oh yeah. Well, we can talk about that later, but I can see that you have a purpose about your walk.
No, yeah. Yeah, I just had me and Ada just had like a quick meeting with some of the people at the scrapyard, and we just came to a plan of how we can, after taking out the shield ships, how we can take out the cruiser itself from the inside. We're probably gonna drop either Bina or Ada. We're still gonna try and decide that because Bina seemed very excited about it. We're
Yeah.
gonna probably drop someone onto the ship, and so they can take it out from the inside. It's gonna be, even with the shield down, it's gonna be kind of hard for us to actually board. So we have to sneak a team in.
At this point, Ada,
Sounds like Rick.
Ada goes, she's like kind of holding her arms close. She's like, can we maybe take this conversation inside?
Yeah, no,
and just-
that's very fair. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Like Taylor's like in a full like bodysuit, like got his helmet done. He's like in environmental. He's like warm. He's feeling great. So like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, sorry, I forgot about that. Not
And
everyone has
Mason's just soaked, but doesn't seem to care.
one.
Yeah, I'm just watching Mason still, like the invigoration of that whole.
Yeah. All right. So we'll say you go inside, and eventually we'll just, so that we don't have to like go through this, we'll just say that you
Mhm.
you will kind of like reiterate to everybody, like kind of in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and say that everybody is currently gathered in the galley at the moment, with probably Ada wanted probably some like warm beverages to warm up. So everybody's kind of gathered. Towels have been dispersed to those who need them. So
Peach's hair is dripping water onto the ground.
yeah. So we'll say that for the sake of this, Taeyeon and Ada have finished sort of discussing everything, sort of laying all that out with everybody.
I think Tam probably like looks at Bina because I feel like Bina's the one's like it's a good plan that he's pretty sure everyone agrees. It's just whose boarding part is the part he's kind of worried about. So like kind of looks at
Yeah.
Bina like,
I still think someone with the blending the ability to blend needs to go in. And it needs to be as small a boarding crew as possible.
No, that's very, very true. It needs to be as small as possible, max to maybe 3 people.
Alma just
I
says,
think one of them either needs to be me or Vix.
Alma says,
Hmm.
look, I can fly this ship proficiently, but I can't do it the way that you do it. I think I need you here. Because otherwise, I think there's a good chance. Look, if the Voidcaller can't target any of the snub fighters, then we're going to be its only target.
That's understandable. I'm fine staying behind, but someone who can't be seen needs to also be on, which is why I'm pitching for Vix.
Vix nods, says,
be
"Oh
on.
yeah, I'll go."
Can you project?
I can. I'm a fast learner.
Okay. I'll take it.
So
So
the
Ada
crew.
and Vix? Ada Sprix and Vix?
And me.
And Taeyeon?
Definitely not letting Ada go on her own. It kind of like gives Ada a look and then gives Vix like a narrowed kind of eyes, like.
Bina's gonna be like, don't hold on to that. It's gonna depend on how many people Vix can figure out how to project onto in the next 45 minutes or however long we have until.
There's
this is
also the
happening.
possibility that we might just have to run as soon as we land, because
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good at running. I can
Yes,
do
you
that.
are. I'm trying to like Bina's like super like racking her brain of like things we did when I went in and blended Taeyeon the last time we went. Taeyeon was fine, they noticed it, but then we also like she's like like layering like how many things can I
okay.
teach it? Try to force onto Vix in the next night.
Yeah. I have a question that's above game.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd even know this, but like, do I know of how? So chemists have a tendency just to show up on ships or facilities and just start helping. If that's it, do I know of any time that's happened to a pirate ship? Or like, have I ever heard of like chemist found dead because he showed up on a pirate ship? Can I have ever heard of that?
Protocol.
it's probably about 50-50.
Oh shit! Okay.
Maybe if you bring an eye
Yeah.
patch.
Yeah, like it's
Right.
probably about 50-50, mostly because depending on pirates tend to be very skittish people. They tend to be very suspicious of anyone, as they are constantly on the run from any kind of like law enforcement or any kind of countermeasures, basically against pirates. So a random uninvited person showing up on their ship, regardless of whether or not they are Chemoth, is immediately cause for concern and suspicion, which is pirates are not the most nuanced of people, so it will either result in a, it could result in just sort of like a, oh yeah, okay, we don't know how to fix our ship, help, or it might just result in a few death.
They are
That's fair.
currently
Okay.
in the middle of a skirmish, so I would
Yeah.
assume that they're not gonna be too happy.
Yeah, circumstances are
yeah.
definitely not in your favor on that one.
It's not like they're just like docked at a port and chilling. Like this
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
Do we still have access to their drop ships? Could we use that at some part of this to
We do
say
have two
the drop ship
ships.
is returning to
We have
the main
one
ship?
drop
We have
ship.
one. That's
Then-
right. I forgot
I
to
mean-
crash in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say like, yeah, that definitely crashed.
Like, could we use that at all?
Jade speaks up and he just goes, I don't think so. He says they've been gone for a long time. They're gonna immediately assume
Been
Probably-
compromised.
they'll probably shoot first and never ask questions.
And I don't know how ships work. Are they connected in any way in a network? Could anything in that ship help you?
It already has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
we-
right. You already.
Yeah, we
I
gutted
did
it
that.
for connections to the main.
Oh, okay. We already
which
did
is
that,
how
right?
we know where all of the
Mhm.
ships are. So, I mean, we could poke around for anything else, but
I mean, either way, I'm still definitely coming along. I feel like, even if you can't mask me as well, Vix, think I probably can find a way to keep outside as well.
I want, and Bina's like authoritarian, like authority tone. I want him to be able to mask them before anything happens. Before anything goes. I need at least Ada Sprix needs to be under the radar for sure. And that says nothing about Ada Sprix's capabilities as a person. I just need them to be able to focus and work and not have to be looking over their shoulder.
Sounds like nodding, like absolutely 100%. Like
Vix just says, "Okay, fine. Look, we can settle this right here, right now." He stands up, and he just sort of Bina
holds out her arms.
You got this.
Okay, he kind of looks around and he says, "Volunteers, please." And Jade just raises
Oh.
his He's like, "Perfect." Now there's a man who's not afraid to be accidentally disintegrated. And Jade goes, "What?" All right, so he stands over by Jade, and the two of them, Jade just sort of looking up at Vix, and then as Vix sort of he concentrates, and your attention sort of slides off of him onto Jade. Being that you're paying attention to it, you are aware that it's happening. That like your mind is having a harder time like focusing on Vix specifically. And then very slowly, probably more slowly than Bina would be super comfortable with, but you slowly start to feel the same with Jade. And just as you're about to feel like your attention slip off completely, it just goes away, and Vix just, whew, that's rough. Okay, he's like sweating. You can see that he's sweating. He like sits back down. Alma hands him a glass of water.
Have before this mission is supposed to happen. Is this like an in the morning thing, or do we have like an hour?
Yeah, when's our ETA on this?
Probably, you don't know, because basically nobody has like, you haven't heard back from the settlement yet as to like their decision.
True.
So he has a little bit of time to practice. It's not like we're going in an hour.
But I also don't want, if it is something where like, oh, as soon as the settlement gets back to us, we're going. Like, I don't want him to like use up any reserves that he has to practice versus like, no matter when they get back to us, we're gonna take the night first, and in the morning will be the first time we launch anything if the settlement gets back to it. Like, is that kind of the case? Like, do we know if we have the evening or?
Probably,
Okay.
Yeah. Presumably, at the very least, you have the evening, especially if you're looking at the IFF and their movements and all that sort of, and like, it doesn't look like they're making any move. Like I said last time, they like from their perspective, they sent down a whole like a fighter escort and 2 dropships, and none of them came back.
Yeah.
So they've basically like they're taking some time to reevaluate pretty clearly, like.
And their mysterious vanishing regulators.
Right, yeah, mysterious vanishing regulator ships.
Yeah.
That they destroyed, but like there's no wreckage anywhere of them. So like.
Yeah, so Bina is fine drilling Vix for now then.
Okay.
He's up for it.
All right.
How many do you suppose you will need to be dropped on the ship? I hear you saying a small group. Smaller is better.
Vix
yeah.
kind of looks over it, glances over at you as you say that, but like doesn't offer anything. He's like listening to Bina coach him basically.
Yeah, and then I look over to Tayon. What do you think? How many do you suppose this team require? How many?
No offense to all of you, but you're not exactly trained in this. Normally, with my squad at least, we have about 5, and 5 is small because we all are fairly good at what we do. I don't know how good you are, Mason. I know you're used to be a regulator, but did you do anything like this?
Oh, no, I always came in afterwards to see what the mess was about. Who got shot? Why? I just investigated.
That said, I will say part of regulator training does involve like a basic proficiency with like drop operations. So like even
Hey, didn't we do that one time? Didn't we drop into a ship
Yeah.
before?
I think
We've
Mason
done that.
orchestrated a drop down.
Yeah.
But we did have
Like,
Olim's help
Mason,
with the gravity cycle.
it's not what Mason would
yeah.
have like specifically done, but you would have, in order to pass like the basic training for regulators, you would have needed at least proficiency in that. Like, so you would have had to have like passed some sort of proficiency exam.
And so there's that, but bear with me. I could be on the ship here. I can help with scanning, with making sure that we can pick you up. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I could also I could land with you guys. I could knock out a guard if hopefully we don't run into one. And perhaps disguise myself as them in case we need a contingency plan. And Mason pulls out whatever the disguise nodule is that he found as a Cypher.
Mm-hmm.
I could disguise myself, and that might be useful. I don't know. I've never done this kind of infiltration before.
No,
It's
yeah,
just a theory.
that could be very useful, and if
Or
you're up for it.
yeah.
Ada turns to look at you, Tan, and she says, as much as stealth will be the goal, we can't guarantee it's going to work. And if we end up pinned down in a firefight, we're going to need as many hands as we can get.
No, yeah, you're definitely right about that. And I saw Mason in that fight. I think Mason would be a huge help.
Although, Mason, aren't you kind of our gun guy on the ship?
I think one.
Yeah.
This might end up being either Taeyeon or Mason go down because we need someone on guns and weapons here.
So just because this is something we haven't talked about
That's
in a while, but I
true.
did mention this a while back, like way early on. But Awakener, by default, this class of ship is designed so that it can be operated by a pilot and a co-pilot pretty efficiently, but optimally run by a crew of 4. However, Awakener's systems have been modified so that theoretically all operations of the ship could be handled from one spot. So, like, if it came down to it, Bina would be able to handle all of those things herself and essentially fly Awakener as if it were a snub fighter. So, like, that is also an option. Like, you don't require everybody at the various stations doing things.
Okay.
It's just a matter of what Bina can get. The downside
Bina won't
is
be a good shot, but she can.
Yeah.
Like,
and basically being able to shoot is also going to compromise on your ability to like maneuver, and vice versa.
maneuvering. I think it's the inverse. Like
No, it's
maneuvering
no.
compromises.
It's both. It's either or, because like, if you're looking in terms of actions,
Mhm.
right? If you're shooting, you're not doing a
That's
maneuver.
fair,
So
yeah. I show my maneuvers make me like, hey, if you're gonna shoot and you do this, you'll suck even worse.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sounds good.
So
Maneuver list.
just those are things to keep in mind.
Mhm.
The way I
Not-
see it is, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The way I see it is, I could be fairly useful in either place, but if for any reason the ship is not able to, some part of the ship is locked down and it has to be reset, like the cannons have to be reset. If it makes sense that there'd be a spare hand to reset things or fix things manually up here as well. Tan, I know you don't want to leave Ada, and I don't want to make it a thing one or the other. I think maybe I should stay up here.
I will be honest, if anyone kind of like looks at everyone but Vix, because if any of you would go with Vader, I'd happily stay behind. So if it ends up being the case where you're more useful with Ada on the boarding that ship, I will for sure and gladly.
Do you guys just want to draw straws, or
What's
I think
that?
what it comes down, Ada needs to go
Straws?
and be like, for sure. Ada's going for sure. Someone with cloaking, so either me or Vix is going, but I need to pilot, so it's those two, and then someone with more fightery capabilities.
Yeah.
That's
So
Taeyeon.
I can go. I mean, hopefully we might find a short person that I can impersonate, or another chemist that I could possibly impersonate with that, and he can like points at the Cypher. If you're okay with me using that, if not. Cool, thank you.
Oh yeah, I
It
need
actually-
the slot.
The nice thing about it, Tan, as you're looking at it, is that it is sort of like basically like holographic tech that
so
makes usage of like hard light technology. It will integrate with your suit, so you can just sort of
Okay.
Ooh, cool.
That's awesome.
I think there's probably like a little like a little microchip slot. It's like, okay, I think it looks like it
think it's
fits in this.
Yeah,
And a
yes.
slot sitting there for whenever he needs to use it.
Tan is more so out of character. Tan is more ranged weapons, right? You don't do hand to hand.
I don't do
Yes.
hand to hand, but I use my ranged weapons in hand to hand range.
Okay.
So like I'm
Distance,
best when I'm really close up to each other and shooting point blank. So I'm gonna try to
Right.
get a hand to hand range
I just have
anyway.
a cipher that Bina will never use
Ooh.
that I feel like might be a Mason.
Yeah.
Because you get 24 hours. After use for 24 hours, you can deal 2 additional points of damage, and whoever you're attacking loses their next action. I feel like
Whoa.
that might be a
Is that
Mason.
specifically for melee?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
is.
It is,
Because I
yeah.
don't
Sounds
know how
about
it would affect since you put it on your person.
Yeah.
So you're
So
saying
yeah,
the
no.
Mason could really pack a serious punch at
Yeah,
some
Well,
because
point.
yeah.
basically what it is, it's nanites, right? These are the disruptive nanites.
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
basically what it
Ooh.
does is they basically like collect around like your fists or weapon, like melee weapon or whatever, and essentially
cool.
they just like on striking they just disperse around the person and the target of the attack and just administer essentially like a minor electric jolt.
Well, I just got a slot open, so
Yeah, I'll say, would you like if we're exchanging ciphers? Would you like that? It's a
Shh.
nanite cylinder.
okay.
I rolled a 1
hmm
when I got it, so I don't know what that means for if that a level 1.
It means
or...
no. That's the addition 2 additional points of damage instead of 1 additional.
Okay,
point. Yeah.
got it. So yeah, so for
but
24 hours
does-
after use. Oop.
It does. So yeah, it is a level 1 cipher. Sorry, continue. You said that already.
So for 24 hours after use, you deal 2 additional points of damage, and your target loses their next action.
And what page is that on, so I can refer to that as a later point when I forget inevitably? 350, 3.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
350 something.
Yeah, because that's where I've seen other ciphers on. Or
Yeah.
If that's right,
Yeah.
that would be an awesome guess.
It is something
I
like that.
rolled like I rolled a 70.
355 maybe. Ooh.
That was I remember rolling a 70.
Yeah, 350 exactly. Actually,
Nice.
it's disrupting. It's under disrupting.
Disrupting. Cool. All right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah,
I feel
but this
like
brain
I
is
wanted to give it to
adapting.
someone else who could use it more efficiently than Bina. Who would not.
And the disguise is gone. Awesome. What if Mason's adaptability doesn't let it? Well, I'm kidding. I'm not going to get in the weeds there.
Oh,
Just
no.
control it.
Oh man. Okay, that's cool. Thank you. Huh.
Bina tends to get ciphers that are best used by Mason.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I've given you like 3.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, let me put that disguise thing in real quick. Yeah, I think Tan would be like after this exchange, like, so is everyone good with that plan? Me, Vix, and Ada, we drop down to that ship and try our best to stealthily infiltrate, and if not, I guess guns are blazing.
Do we have an emergency plan in case everything goes to full shit?
Ooh.
How do we get you out? Where do you go? What do you do?
Vix just raises a hand. He says, "Commandeer a ship."
Good. I like that.
Yeah, I can definitely. I think we can get to a ship fairly easily.
Can any
Um,
of you fly?
Out pirate the
No.
pirates.
Above game, can Ozai with wings fly? Like,
I mean,
is that-
yeah,
is that-
no. Like Ada can.
Oh no, yes I can,
but
but I meant like
pilot.
ship. Can you
Pilot.
Okay.
Actually, here's
Sprix
the
can't fly,
thing.
yes.
Here's the thing. I just
Okay, so
realized. Vix would know that that's not possible because you're specifically going there to prevent ships from being able to launch.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
true.
This is still a they don't get there. How are they getting off?
yeah.
Or after? We need many plans.
Yep.
This is very scary.
Yeah.
Nina's freaked out that
Do
she's
I
not going now,
have
and she can't help.
yeah.
See if I have anything that helps. No, I don't. I
Can
can.
Ada Sprix fly?
Like pilot or
Yeah, a pilot. Sorry, pilot.
Theoretically, any one of you would you would have at least some basic proficiency in, like, you'd be able to fly it.
You get your pilot's license
Yeah.
when
Like-
you're 16.
It's like I said, I think I mentioned before, but like I have like Taylor's whole squad, and like Ada is the tech person, and I have like a character who's actually like the pilot of the squad. So I feel like Ada probably has like a little bit of flying experience, but like probably not enough to like outrun a pirate, like a teched up pirate ship.
I mean, if we can get you off of the ship, that's like
Mhm.
better than you being stuck there. So that's
Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
If we can come
Yeah.
get you like midair or whatever.
Right.
I'm just trying to like feel like when this goes.
You have
shit,
an
at what point in
entrance
the
plan, not an exit
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
And like, I'm gonna have to teach you about fucking maintenance ways and good places to hide without cameras.
Ada speaks
How
up.
about parachutes?
Ada speaks up and just says, "Listen, I think at a certain point, we're going to have to just accept that there's no perfect solution to every problem."
No, but I can help the best I can before I send you in without me.
Right, but she kind of glances over at Taeyeon and then just, like, cause with a sort of like a knowing look on her face, and she just looks back over at you, Bina, and she says, "Sometimes you just have to work with what you've got, and the rest will just come with what you have. Right now, we all have specific things that we can better direct our energy to than going around in circles about things we can't control or predict. We have a plan,
You all need,
and it's a good one."
and if you need backup when you're in there, you know who to call.
Right.
We'll keep in contact for sure.
You better.
Arms on.
Have encrypted comms.
Ada nods. She says, "Yeah, I can set that up."
Cool.
I'm gonna go start working on the shutdown virus.
All right. Okay. You, and she points at Vix, come with me. And
Yeah.
she's gonna take Vix to. We're gonna practice.
So we're gonna pass a little bit of time here because basically it's another hour or so of just sort of putting final preparation and doing all this stuff when you hear Alma's voice come over comms, and she just says,
Hey, we're getting a transmission from the settlement. It's a text-based message from the mayor. It looks like. Okay, it looks like they're in. I'll let Scrapyard know.
Thank you.
Vix, as the two of you are in the hold, Vix looks at you and just goes, "This will be fine."
It'll be great. It'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it again.
Okay. And I think at that point we're gonna go to our break. And when we come back,
Hot planning.
stuff will happen. It'll be a time.
Woo, Tetrium, boom, boom, pirate, invade.
Yep. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
All right,
Tetrium Boom Boom is a song. Okay.
I love that.
For sure.
We're gonna blast it while we're
Yeah.
starting the mission,
Exactly.
and it'll be on all the speakers. It'll be good.
We'll be right back. We'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. And we're back, everybody. Hi. Welcome back. We've returned
on
from our break.
time.
Yeah, totally on time. Nailed it. We just...
If you run it to the nearest multiple of 15, we technically were away
Here's
for
the
15
thing.
minutes.
Here's the thing. Here's what I feel like when we've said 10 minutes, we end up closer to 15. Today I said 10 or 15 and we were like closer to 20. I think I should just say
Oh,
10
man.
and everybody will just assume 15. And that's
15.
that's
Don't
the-
give us the leeway.
just no, absolutely not. Okay, let's get back into tonight's game. When we left off, y'all were planning a dangerous and inadvisable mission.
Woo! What's
um,
new?
But
A Wednesday.
Uh,
you know.
Yeah, average Wednesday.
So true.
But you heard back from the settlement, saying that they were in for the plan to render the larger pockets of tetrium on this planet inert, and thereby removing the corporate interest in this planet. So, we will go ahead and say that y'all spend the rest of the evening preparing and then resting. And if you haven't done it already, go ahead and make sure all your pools are back up to where they're supposed to be.
Necessary.
I don't know if it helps for I desperately want Vix to be able to do this here, but like, so if I don't know if I can use encouragement as like a stepping stone to helping him understand, like to helping it click in his head, like, because he's trying to use abilities that I have, and if I can use, so I can use these abilities to encourage him to, get better. I don't know if I can help it. I don't know if I can help at all with that, but I'm just trying to be like, please be good at this.
Right.
Just throwing it on the table.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does anything, but I'm using.
Mechanically, I don't think it will do anything, but you can absolutely just you can, for the sake of flavor purposes, for like during instruction or whatever, sure, you can say that you did that. All right. So, the next morning dawns bright and early. It is still somewhat overcast, but you can see that there are rays of sun that are peeking through the clouds, lighting not only the plateau but creating a spectacular view of the valley and the flatlands just to the south of the plateau. As the first rays of the sun kind of peek in over the over the lands below, you can see the glittering off of the river that runs, cutting the grasslands in half, and refracting off of the enormous waterfall that cascades off the edge of that plateau down into those lowlands. As you are coming to, you begin your preparations for the day, and as those of you who step off of Awakener, would notice that it appears that the settlers have set out tables and things just inside the settlement. And looking in that direction, you can see that a fair number of Scrapyard Squadron are already over there, and taking part in what appears to be a breakfast that was made by the settlers. So actually, hold on. I just realized I need a thing. I'm totally prepared, everybody. I know what I'm doing. So there we go. There we go. Can y'all hear that? Might be a little. Okay, cool. So, you step over. The morning kind of has that cool crispness that comes after a storm, where you can kind of feel the bite in the air from the moisture that still remains. But as you step over, you can already see in the grasslands below, the mist that is gathering down there as the rainfall has already begun evaporating with the first rays of sun hitting it. Making your way over towards where you can see the group of Scrapyard Squadron who are like sitting. They're basically like a number of smaller tables. It looks like Scrapyard is taking shifts in eating because there's only like a handful of them here. Yeah, you all they greet you in the morning, and you can see Treya, the head of the settlement security, walks over to you and she says, "Hi. We a few of the others wanted to feel like they were helping, so they took it upon themselves to make sure y'all were ready for the day."
Well, this looks like a lot better than what we have dehydrated in our ship, so
We
it's
figured.
appreciated.
Feel free to sit anywhere. She says, food's over there. She points to where you can see sort of like basically, essentially like a heating unit that's used for keeping food like warm. One of the sort of like a portable heating unit, where they have like, it looks like if you've ever on a buffet table, how they have those things that like those food warmers that keep everything right. Like, it's basically just like a bunch of that with like food. You can already see like a couple members of Scrapyard Squadron are like loading up.
Oh, I'm gonna
Looks
grab
good.
something because I have a feeling I'm gonna need quite a lot of carbs for what is about to happen. And Taylor's gonna just rush over to the place and just like absolutely pile on.
Mason just looks with mightily impressed at Tan's heavily piled on plate as he's just kind of sporting like a tray with like a soup and a salad type deal.
For breakfast?
Soup and a salad,
What a
wait.
weirdo.
I don't know, it was the first thing that came
like
out.
a fruit bowl and some
Yeah.
porridge.
Yeah.
I guess that's soup and
Absolutely.
a salad.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I guess.
It's true.
Porridge is soup.
If it's, well, you know, if it's
In a
if there's
bowl,
if
you
there's-
eat it with a
if
spoon.
there's enough
Oatmeal?
liquid, yes. If it's
Oh god.
Cereal? How about that? Let's start that
Grits?
debate on
Let's
stream.
do it. I'm gonna
Cereal
tweet
or
that out. I'm
soup?
gonna see what happens there.
Is cereal a soup? Discuss. No. All right. As you all kind of like
get out of here, y'all.
I think this is very important and we should dedicate it a lot of time.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
purple. It's purple
all right.
porridge.
Okay.
soup.
Anyway,
Yes.
so as you are
Not
you
in these parts.
settle in, you at one point you can see a couple of Scrapyard's fighters take off, and then just sort of pass overhead as they all like make their way off, and you can see as they split off in opposite directions. And you can see one of the members of Scrapyard leans back at the table as she looks up. She says, "Well, I'm glad somebody's getting the boring job today." And the others they're just starting to start joking around. You actually, as you kind of turn to see who was talking, you actually see Hooligan walking up to the table. She or not to the table, but she like to basically get a load of food as she walks over there. Coming back from the food, she walks over to the table where you can see there's probably like 5 members of Scrapyard Squadron just sitting there. And as she walks up, you can see one of them glances up and just puts a foot up on the empty seat. And he looks up and goes, "Oh, sorry. Looks like you should have come here with the rest of us if you wanted to be, you know." And she just sort of looks at all this and just... she kind of glances over and sees you guys over, and she just kind of walks over towards where you are.
Okay, above game, because this is surprising to Drac. like have we witnessed anything like
so
this?
technically,
than
Taeyeon
this?
would not have seen this, but Mason did
Okay.
witness something similar to similar
Okay.
behavior during the the strategy meeting yesterday. So
Okay, I just want to make sure.
yeah,
Bina doesn't like that. Bina didn't like that. I would like to fill that individual with burning embarrassment.
That's perfect.
cool. I'm not gonna make you roll for that, because I know
Cool.
that you would just
Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, you see that.
Like I say, she's gonna like look over there and like eyeball them, and then like you see Bina like squint,
Mhm.
and then calmly go back to her.
Yeah,
Like-
you see that he sort of like stiffens and kind of like looks around, like looks back over towards Hooligan's retreating back, and then just goes back to his food and just doesn't talk to anybody, like doesn't go back to the conversation, just goes back to his food, head down. Hooligan,
Bina, I was gonna put a bug in his food, but that works too.
Mason's just like kind of like leans over as he's looking up over at the other table and is just like,
yeah. Hooligan walks over and says, "Is that seat taken?"
All yours.
No.
She settles down, just sort of starts eating and kind of glances up at all of you and she says, "It's fine." Just keeps eating.
Is it? Like Taylor's like actually upset. Like, is it? Are you not on the same squad?
it's complicated. And she kind of glances over at Mason, and she says, there's a few of them that are still pretty upset that I didn't join them when they first left. Yeah.
This is their way of blowing off steam, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know how long you've been flying together, but I'm assuming you've saved each other's lives countless times.
Well, actually, I'm not usually on many of the ops, not since I've been around. Mostly I do reports afterwards, and yeah. Really, the first op that I've flown with them since joining up again was, well, the one that you almost botched. But
Does your captain, does any of the people in command know about how you're treated?
I don't want to bring this to the Major's attention. It's not worth it. They'll get over it eventually.
Yeah, consider this, though. That until then, having this kind of friction within a unit can be the difference, literally the difference, between life and death.
I know. When it comes down to it, I know that they've got my back, and I've got theirs. They know that. They're just... They've been through a lot out here before I came along, and some of them are resentful of the fact that I basically got to avoid that. Scrapyard used to be 15. We lost a couple people out here. From their perspective, I'm just sort of sauntering my way in without having to deal with any of it, so. But I know when it comes down to it, those people are, well, they're the closest thing to family I've got left, so. We take care of each other. It's like any family. Sometimes there's rivalries, but we resolve them, and when it comes down to it, we're all there for each other.
Talon's still like furrowing his brow, like,
You ever considered telling them off?
Well, I did give Wobbler a black eye a few weeks ago, so.
That's what I like to hear.
And she just thanks, really. But it really is fine.
Yeah, you see a lot of that kind of thing in the regulators, too.
She goes, oh, I didn't know you were a regulator.
Yeah, past tense, of course.
I don't blame you.
He's more fun now.
You have no idea.
She just grins and goes back to eating. After a while, you see the major makes his way over, and he stops at the table. He says, "All right, I've heard back from Hotshot and Shorty. Looks like all major deposits of tetrium have been nullified. So,
Just like
Yeah.
that?
Wow.
just like that.
Able.
Good work.
Now, question is, do we wait or take the fight to them?
oh, I think we should probably take the fight to them.
After breakfast, of course.
All right.
Like, I'm still halfway through my plate.
Yeah. He glances over at the table of the scrapyard. He says, "You all look like you're done. Everybody up. Get ready to scramble the fighters. And they sort of like all like look at each other and then just sort of like scramble to like. Yeah.
Scramble to scramble.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And they all make their way back towards the landing site. He turns to Hooligan and says, "You ready for this one? I know it's been a while since you've flown a real op. Sure you're ready?" She nods, says, "With all due respect, sir, I was ready a lot sooner than this." He kind of stands back, looks at her, says, "That's what I like to hear. Get moving, Lieutenant." And she stands up and looks at all of you. She says, "I'll see you all up there."
Stay safe.
You too. And she sets her tray back over on the counter basically, and makes her way over. All right.
Where's Treya? Is she nearby?
Yeah.
Is she still here? I want to go over and talk to her.
Okay. Yeah, she's currently basically just sort of standing by the actually, you know what? One of the there's probably some sort of like basically like a watchtower almost sort of thing, just sort of like a watch post. She's probably up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so as you make your way up to her, just sort of walking up the steps to her, she turns, says, "Just making sure they're not planning on giving us any surprises today before you're all ready."
Is it all quiet up there with them?
So far, although, if you look, and she glances up to where you can still just vaguely see the Voidcaller, she glances up, she says, "If I'm being honest, it does seem like they might have been getting closer, so I don't know." What's up?
Well, I just wanted to check in and make sure you have a plan to keep all your people underground or safe, right?
We have emergency plans in place, yes.
Okay. I just don't want any of you all to get hurt because we came in guns a-blazing.
The way I see it, the mayor and the other leaders might not agree, but the way I see it, out here, on our own, with little to nothing for defense, this is kind of the best case scenario. It was going to happen one way or another eventually. The fact is, we got lucky that you were here when it did.
Happy to hear. This might be kind of a weird question, but do you have anyone here who is a journalist or a particularly good storyteller?
Maybe. I mean, there might... I'm not sure. I'd have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. I just think that if all goes to plan, who knows, it might give some other colonies or in similar situations a little bit of hope. Coming all the way out here from Far Hope.
Yeah, you might be right.
Sorry, a little cheesy, I know.
Well, so is Far Hope.
Who picked that one anyway?
Oh, it wasn't me.
Didn't vote on that one?
No, that was chosen before I got brought on.
Okay, well, we always have the vantage points of our ships, but if there's any way for any of you to document any of the fight going on up there, I think it might make for a pretty cool video.
I'll see what I can do. I'll ask around. And, well, we'll see if... And then at that point, you hear the sound that everybody has sort of been on edge waiting to hear, which is the sound of a sonic boom. She immediately glances up, and you can see as the Voidcaller is now very clearly descending into lower orbit.
Get everybody safe.
Will do. And yeah. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go back with everybody else.
He's just setting up our PR.
I know. I was like, I gotta arrange that before we start battling,
love
so
that.
we got this on camera.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and cut to y'all sitting in Awakener. As you're boarding and doing checks, Bina, you see Alel walking over towards where you are, just sort of at the base of the ramp of Awakener. She steps up to you and says, Hey, sorry I didn't come by sooner. I had to make sure all of them were ready to go today. I think you're muted.
There's a lot to do.
There sure is. This is your ship, huh?
This is Awakener. I'm sorry I didn't get to show you around, but afterwards,
Definitely.
we don't get
Hmm.
too dinged up. She's pretty.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see her. But I won't be going up with you this time. I'm responsible for the shuttle and the maintenance crews, so I'll be sticking around here. Hey, it was really good to see you.
So good to see you.
Let's.
And being as
Oh, she says, when this is all over, we'll have a proper chat.
I look forward to it. And then immediately
Yeah.
big forearmed hug.
Yeah, she hugs you back and pulls away and says, "All right, fly fast, stay strong."
Always do. See you on the other side.
She turns back and makes her way back towards the where the maintenance crews are basically currently like you can see a couple of them are up on ladders handing helmets to the pilots in the fighters and sort
I
of
think Bean has a little bit of a like, not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. Like, not out loud, but like internally, like a, okay, I gotta hold myself. And then she's gonna shake it off and turn around and go back up.
all right. So, before long, you find yourself sitting in the cockpit of Awakener. Everybody else sort of strapping in. Taeyeon, you and Vix and Ada strapped in to like basically the emergency seating that's near the boarding ramp. As you're all just in there, and Vix is just sort of like fidgeting, like in the seat next to you, just sort of. Damn. He looks up at you and says, "Are yours tight? What is?" Just,
I think you might just be adding on a bit of weight. And he immediately turns back to Ada. It's like, how you feeling? Are you feeling ready?
he does one of those things where he's like, yeah, wait. He like looks at you, but you've already turned away, and he's just sort of. Ada looks at you, says, "I'm good."
It's been a bit since you've last actually gone on a field mission with me. Actually,
Yeah. Hopefully, I haven't gotten too rusty.
I'm almost sure that you've been gotten sharper. So I think everyone on that ship needs to be worried, honestly.
Oh, definitely. And she says, I mean, after all, they've never dealt with anything like you before.
Tanner's like, oh god damn, oh, fucking turning it back on me, fine.
Vix is just sitting there looking at both of you, and he says, "I really should have had those anti-motion sickness pills." And he just sort of like,
What, you're not excited to be a third wheel, Vix?
he looks over towards as you're walking past and strapping yourself in. He says, "Oh no, I'm well used to it. Just, not usually on a moving ship being shot at."
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, sure is. And then you feel the lurch of Awakener taking off and rising up. All right. So,
Calculate like the ideal drop spot
yeah.
for them. Like, I know what part of the ship I need to be aiming for.
You would know.
Okay.
There's a spot that is basically like near enough to the hangar entrance that they could like rush there. Essentially where the hangar entrance is like there's a large bay door on the top of the cruiser that opens kind of along sort of a section lengthwise along the cruiser, and the ships kind of launch from there. So basically there is a section that you can get to that is perfectly in between where there are cannons that are going to be firing at you and where it would be just too far outside of range for them to like run there without being like meeting too much resistance. So yeah, you have a drop spot for sure.
I have also given Ada Sprix my tool bag.
Okay.
Probably not all of my tools because not all of them are going to be useful to her, but like I've given her like a handful of like usual, and then it also is good for fast motion, upside down, stupid position bullshit. So and it works well with multiple arms, so she can put all of her tools in it too. But I've sent that along with them.
Okay, perfect. All right. So,
She's also definitely armed. Tane would have been like, here's one of my
absolutely. Yeah.
my pistols. Here you go, just for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, she probably has her own bonus, so yeah.
So
I'm
actually,
just gonna give Vix a hug before they get strapped in.
yeah. And he goes, all right, I'm fine. I'll be fine.
Don't worry. Even if I'm not there, I'm with you.
He you can see on his face he looks like he's about to crack a joke, but then instead just says, "Yeah, I know." All right. He kind of looks at you. Oh yeah, what?
Oh, I was gonna say, can I make eye contact with other Peach?
Sure, yeah.
Is she there? Can I just, after like that comment specifically, I'm with you. Can I kind of give her a look? I want to see if she'll go with them. Like I don't really know if that works, but I just
you see as she you look for her, and it's like looking for her, you see her suddenly is there standing next to where Vix is strapped in. And she just looks at you and just Vix
stay safe.
Vix looks at you and like, yeah, sure, yeah, I will.
I'm gonna strap myself in.
Okay. All right. So, Vix then turns to you, Taeyeon. He says, "What are you even doing here? Shouldn't you be at the gunner's seat?"
I think Mason can handle that, honestly.
All right. Just saying, we got to take down that ship before you can even get close. So.
Good point. Yeah, fine. It's gonna like quickly unstrap and just like quickly head to the gunner seat.
Okay. All right. So.
I want to say that Bina definitely gave Vix like a fake, like monologue about playing nice. Because she knows he's a little bit of like a jokester, and like that he very obviously, especially to Bina who can sense emotions, rubs Tay on the wrong way sometimes.
Mhm.
So she definitely at the end of their like he's like fucking exhausted, trying like pushing him really hard. And it's like, okay, I need you to take this seriously and to play nice. But she gave him that speech before they went. Whether or not he takes it seriously, she
Sure.
gave it to him anyways.
All right. So, with everybody in position, Awakener takes off, and as you fly up, you see around you, Bina, 11 snub fighters taking off along, like almost in unison with Awakener, as all of you sort of rise up above the plateau, and hang suspended in the air above the settlement for a few seconds. You can hear them running through their checks, just sort of like running through like the ready checks, just one by one after another, just sort of going.
Awakener ready.
And with that, you all take off towards the now descending Voidcaller. So as you approach, at first there appears to be no reaction. You can see, even from this distance, you can kind of see where small patrols of fighters are sort of encircling, sort of flying around the outside of the Voidcaller, even from this distance. As you approach, they don't appear to be engaging you at the moment. So whatever Ada managed to do with the IFF and sort of messing with it seems to be working.
I think we're one of them right away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or at the very least, you're confusing them enough to just sort of
Make them hold.
Yeah. You hear the major come over comms, just say,
All right, everybody, make sure to hold until the absolute last minute. All right, standing by. Hold. Hold.
And as you're getting closer and closer, reaching the point where you think, Bina, you at this point are sort of gauging, and you're like, we've got to be within visual range now. Like they've got to be. But even still, you can still hear the Major's voice.
Stand by. Everybody hold steady.
And then Bina, you watch as very suddenly one of the nearest patrols of fighters all very suddenly bank in your direction, and you hear the Major.
Now, go, go, go.
And suddenly you're all streaking towards each other. So
Pow pow.
all right. So with that, you hear the Major's voice come over the comms.
All right, everyone. Remember your roles. Blue group, focus on that fighter transport, or on that fighter escort. Red group, make sure you stay on Awakener's 6. Go after that shield transport. Everybody, break, go.
And yeah, you watch as like Awakener and Red group just sort of bank to one side, sort of breaking from Blue group, who like immediately turns to engage the fighters. It is very clear to you, Bina, even as you're concentrating on piloting, it's very obvious to you that you are currently flying with some of the most skilled pilots in the galaxy, because right now 12 ships are going up against about 30 fighters without even blinking. As you approach, you can see the Voidcaller, just this enormous bullet-shaped vessel of dark steel hull plating. You can see where it's bristling with cannons that are sort of slowly turning, trying and failing to acquire targets on all of the snub fighters. As they sort of slowly start turning, some of them turning in your direction. You can see even like the rise, the sort of semi-spherical rise of where the bridge would be towards the back of the ship. And even at this distance, maybe it's just your imagination, but even at this distance, you can almost feel like you can see the people inside the bridge scrambling in the bridge as you approach. But maybe it's just a trick of the imagination. As you kind of begin ducking and weaving through the enemy fighters that are currently swarming, your fighter escort keeps a fair number of them off of you. The initial onslaught of them just blossoming into fireballs in front of you, clearing your path. With that, you reach a point where you can see the three sort of orbiting, no, well, not orbiting, but like the three shield vessels. Two of them more clearly than the third, as the other one's kind of on the other side of the Voidcaller from you. But the nearest one kind of turns towards you, and you can see seems to be, you can see, and as, like that, Alma stiffens next to you, and she just goes, the shield transport, it's trying to acquire a target on us.
Stay out of its way. And I'm gonna do evasive maneuvers.
Okay. Sounds good. So anything, is there something, what do you need to do for evasive maneuvers?
So it's a hindrance of 1 step. So
Okay.
if I have to roll for evasive maneuvers, it's one more. No, I think 2. Do the piloting test, evasive maneuvers, and then I have to make the roll with 1 step increase, and then when I do defense rolls, it's 3 steps easier. Sorry, I said a lot of.
I still am not sure what.
I have to make a roll
Okay.
to successfully do evasive maneuvers,
Okay.
so that when they're making an attack on me, my defensive roll is 3 steps easier.
Okay, gotcha. So but there's a hindrance on that roll for doing
On to I think to
right to
set
do
up
it
evasive
to do it.
maneuvers.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's
Hindrance of 1.
1. Okay, cool. So then in that case, let me pull out my actual chart here. In that case,
Sorry, I'm trying to read these out loud. It's
no,
so
that's
hard.
okay. It's complicated. Okay. In that case, I just need you to make a. It'll be a difficulty 5. Yeah, difficulty 5.
Is that with the? Is that 6 then?
No,
or
it's
is
5
it
with the
4 plus
hindrance.
1? Cool. Okay. Because I can see it, can I use tasks involving sight?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 and then piloting.
Mhm.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. So is that all of it?
That's all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two.
Okay. You're good. You're good. Barely.
Oh my goodness.
So
So that's why I don't roll. That wasn't Venus
Yeah.
dice. Maybe that's why. I
you
rolled that.
immediately just start basically like spiraling and just sort of doing like taking the ship through.
Confuse it.
Yeah. Just some dizzying maneuvers. In the back, Vix is just like sitting there like, oh, I hate this part, and and Ada's just cackling. She's just like,
Yeah.
Sweet.
I want to go for a joyride with Ada Sprix at some point. That would be great.
Ada Sprix is a fucking pie animal. That's my like,
yeah.
Good.
All right. So, that being the case, so where is everybody stationed? Same as before, or like?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
green.
All right.
We're, yeah, I suppose so. Me kind of being like a asset to the gunner seat.
Okay.
Kind of.
Sounds good. Is that?
That's what last time.
Then in that case, is that the role that you're taking right now? Just sort of assisting.
I suppose.
I mean,
suppose,
if you want to switch, like I think Ten, I would gladly like, because I know Ten's been on the guns for a ton of time. Like, if you want to try at guns, I would.
I think you're
definitely-
better. I think you're better at it. That's why
and
I'm kind of.
okay.
We'll be jumping off of gunner as soon as we get up there. So like
Yeah.
that might also be taken into consideration where you're
Okay.
stationed. But you can always just swap too. Like once he leaves, you can.
Yeah.
just replace him.
If the swapping's not a huge like deficit, then yeah.
Okay. So, well,
I
here's
think
the
you
thing.
can fire from where
Yeah.
I am anyway.
Yeah,
I remember
so, like,
last time, yeah,
so
so you can fire from where you are.
Yeah, you can at any time you can switch where the guns are being controlled from.
That makes sense.
So like
Yeah, I remember. I forgot about that.
yeah. So in that case then, so Mason, you're currently assisting, is that correct?
Okay. Correct.
Cool. So then in that case, as I'm basically having them go at this point. So you see as the shield vessel sort of banks to sort of intercept, it begins opening fire on Awakener. So, Bina, I'm gonna need you to make your roll, which is already down to a difficulty 1. So,
Piloting takes it.
yeah. So Bina, without any effort whatsoever, just easily evades. Like
She set it up. She was ready.
Yeah.
She knew what was
she
happening.
knew what was coming. You just easily evade all of the blasts coming in your direction.
She makes it look easy.
All right. So now it's between Peach and Taeyeon. Who's going?
Do you want to shoot first, or do you want me to do some scanning? I mean, we already have kind of their location, but maybe I can
Yeah.
kind of their patterns. Maybe I can take a look at kind of the way that they're flying and give some kind of like tips to where it'd be good to target specifically right now.
Assists are gonna be good because all attacks right now are a +3
Yeah.
to difficulty
Yeah.
Oh,
because
so-
of what I'm doing
okay.
right now.
So it's
Ooh, I
currently
didn't think about. I
the
forgot
attacks
about
are at a difficulty 7 right now, and
Mhm.
that
Okay.
will change. That will also increase additionally depending on what Taeyeon decides to target. So
So do I have to do a deep scan then for that to give
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I will do that then
Okay.
to try and give.
it's going to be a difficulty
Taeyeon.
6 intellect.
Okay. I mean, might as well try. So intelligence, right? That we discovered that last
Yes.
time, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
And then free level of effort.
Okay, so that's a total of.
That's down to a 4.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna spend 2 levels of effort to get that down to a 2,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna
Sounds
roll.
good. So just a 6 or better is what you need.
Okay. 6 or better. 16.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, you do a deep tactical scan of the of the enemy vessel, which then displays immediately on Taeon's displays. And Taeon, as you see the data come in, you see all like the targeting info come in as that's being filtered through Mason as he is doing like the calculation for it. So, what would you like to shoot at?
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming that this is where I think Taeon will like just quickly as quickly as he can just go like aiming directly for the shield vessel. Or should I go for anything on our tail right now?
I think we need the shield vessel down so we can get you guys dropped.
Okay, I can do that. And it's gonna aim for the shield vessel and does the shield vessel have weapons?
It does.
Does it look like it has weapons or a shield of its own?
Huh? Yeah, it has.
Does it
It
look like
has
it's shield?
either of those. It has both
Okay.
of those things.
Okay, I think
This is gonna be a complex bit of arithmetic.
yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, just let's go ahead. Let's talk it through so that we know. So it starts out because of Bina's maneuvering is a difficulty 7. But because of Peach's deep scan, I'm gonna say it actually in this case, it drops it by 2. I'm gonna say. 'Cause I think by default is 1, but in this case I'm gonna say it drops it by 2 because you already had data on the shield vessels before. So I'm gonna say it drops it by 2.
Could Alma help?
Hold on,
Because
I'm
he can help me
just walking
Oh,
through
sorry.
everything here that we have.
Yeah.
If you're targeting weapons or shields, doesn't matter. I think they're the same, but I just
Yeah, they're both the same. Yeah, but I'm probably gonna go for weapons.
Okay,
first.
so that puts it back up to the difficulty 7. However, Mason is also assisting, which brings it back down to a 6.
Oh,
Which is
man.
okay, and I have some things that can help with
Okay.
that. So I have I've got 2 power shifts in accuracy.
Yes, that will.
I also have targeting eye, which reduces the difficulty of anything using a ranged weapon by 1 as well.
Cool.
So,
Perfect.
so that goes down to a 3.
Yeah, I think so.
3. Okay. I'll spend effort. I'll spend a 3-level
Okay.
effort to bring it down to a 2.
Sounds good.
I was
And
gonna
then-
ask because Alma wasn't helping you pilot. Could she help with this?
Yeah, I think you've still got.
I think we did
You've
that.
still got
last
an asset spot available, so yes, I will say yeah.
asset from Alma.
So you got an asset from Alma and
Okay.
from Mason. So now, yeah.
This might be metagaming,
Okay.
but because I know it can go down to this one, can I go immediately for the power core? Can I just immediately try and blow
Ooh,
up?
yeah, you could. So that means. So we're adding 3 on.
We're adding another 3.
Another 3 onto that.
So up to 4.
So it's a difficulty 4 right
4.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a 12 or higher.
Yeah.
And I will spend another level of effort to bring it down to a 3.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude, I love
no.
this. Sharpshooter.
Okay, so it's a 9.
Okay.
9 or
Yeah,
better.
9 or better.
Got a 9 exactly.
Isn't
Yes.
that
Hell
exactly
yeah.
what happened last time? Like you
Yes,
hit the
exactly.
on the.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, so
Only fucking close shaves. Okay.
so Taeon,
Yeah.
you having kind of learned a little bit from your experience gunning last time with Bina at the controls, you sort of wait. You don't go for the obvious shot. You wait until a moment where you know Bina will probably steady out and switch direction of the roll. You just sort of anticipate it at this point. And as you do, you see almost as if you're anticipating that, you see Alma feeding back the data to you. Just in the exact split second that Bina stops Awakener's rotation and starts going back the other way, you see that moment. Everything just slows down around you, and you take that second. So you just take a, and you punch down on the trigger and fire 2 perfect blasts that strike the ship's core, and just you watch just immediately it balloons out into a fiery wreckage that just starts going down directly towards the grasslands below. Immediately you see this sort of big iridescent shimmer that just sort of ripples across over the Voidcaller as you see the shield that you've occasionally seen from like shots that missed other fighters impact against and ripple against. You see it just visually shimmer and collapse. At that exact moment, you hear one of Scrapyard going,
Shields down! Shields down, I repeat. The Voidcaller's shields are down.
I mean,
Nice
you
job.
heard him, and he can like just
Yeah.
unbuckle himself real quick and quickly like head back up as fast as he can, to get ready to, I guess, board.
Yeah, Bina's over the comms, like immediately, like that was amazing. On our way to the drop site, like yelling and just.
just so that we are all clear as to what just happened.
That was so.
Just so that we're all clear, Drac,
Yeah.
you just reduced a difficulty 12 down to a difficulty 3 and then made it. So,
I told you guys,
Insane.
Talon is built for fighting and nothing else.
well, I would say 12 is the effective difficulty of this because
yeah,
yeah,
that's
but,
like, yeah.
but yeah,
Well, all of you definitely helped. I would not going down at all.
That's how it's supposed
Yep.
to work. We're here
Teamwork
for
makes
So-
the dream work.
That was a great shot.
Oh, that was so cool.
yeah.
We got in this fight 6 seconds later.
Yeah, you just hear like you can hear like
Holy shit, did you see that shot? I cannot believe what I'm seeing. What the hell was that? Are you telling me they had this the whole time? And then you just hear like all this, and then
you hear all this
in response,
and then
to the what was that, Vina just goes, "That was Taeyeon Kez," and then we zoom
Yeah,
past the
and you just hear-
border.
you hear the Major's voice once again.
all right, everybody, cut the chatter. Red, blue, blue, regroup on me. We're going in. Awakener, we're making you a hole.
After you.
All right, you watch as your fighter escort just peels off and rejoins the rest. They come together in a feat of aerobatic agility. They all just perfectly swoop down into a wedge and just drive straight at the fighters. The entire wedge like rotating on its axis in perfect synchronicity. As they basically
Can I
just
use piloting tasks to fly in formation with these guys?
yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Any hindrances there? Or is it
There's
just
no
happen? No
hindrance.
hindrance? Okay.
There's no hindrance.
Okay. Then I'm not gonna make you roll. I'm just gonna say you do it.
Okay.
Yeah. You just you center yourself in right in the center of the wedge, and as their wedge just sort of spins in perfect synchronization, they create just a cone of weapons fire that just creates a huge hole in the enemy fighters. Because of how quickly you were able to take out that shield vessel, there's not nearly as many fighters around as they didn't get as many launched. That said, there's still upwards of 50 enemy fighters like flying around at the moment. So they've got their hands full. As you break through the enemy's fighter line, Scrapyard basically just red group and blue group just split off from each other immediately and start engaging the fighters, trying to separate them from each other. As Awakener just shoots right through. Bina, you see immediately.
Drop team, get ready.
Yeah, you see immediately as the Voidcaller's weapons just start targeting you, and immediately you see blasts just flying past you. These enormous streaks of light, almost as big as Awakener, just past the ship. As all of their weapon systems, unable to target any of the fighters, focus on the one ship that they can target.
Big target.
Yeah. So, I'm going to need you to make. This is going to be a difficulty 8 defense roll.
Okay.
Alright.
I have a quick. I mean, Bina could probably take this down anyway, but I think Taylor would definitely like to help at the very least. I have a question. Is this a speed defense roll first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I have an ability called Distortion, where I can basically the description is that I make everything, make whatever I touch distorted slightly, so it makes any speed defense roll easier by 1 for a whole minute. Yeah, there it is. So can I distort the entire ship? Can I just like?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, but it's gonna require an initial spend. So like,
Yes, I'll definitely spend.
So,
for sure.
how much does that ability cost to activate normally?
Usually costs 2,
Okay.
but it eats up with my edge
Okay,
anyway.
so I think that this is going to be an initial cost. It's going to be a total spend of 5 to activate this ability in this way. So, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. See, all of a sudden, like, as he's running up, he kind of like touches the side of the ship as he's running
Run
up.
your
to
hands along the
yeah.
whole way.
Yeah.
Just runs and you'll see kind of like it's like chromatic aberration or something like that. It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of see shifts. It kind of shifts and you just see like
That's so cool.
yeah, it's kind of old-fashioned like 3D movies when you don't
Yeah.
wear your glasses. It kind of looks like
Oh
that.
my
And it's
gosh,
like-
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, Awakener from the outside just seems to distort slightly, like almost like dual image a little bit, and then but those images are like constantly sort of like, you know, shifting, almost as if like as if you're like the viewer's eyes are like trying to focus but not quite able to do it.
I imagine it's something like with the time powers, it's like potential movements, but not
Yeah,
like,
like
but
potential
like
movements,
it's,
past
you see
movements
the
that have already done.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So then it goes down immediately from a difficulty 8 down to a difficulty 7, right? Is that correct?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this I don't think flight information helps anymore because it was like if an allied ship is part of the combat, coordinate with it, providing that ship. Oh, that was for them. Never mind. They get an asset from me. That's what happens. Okay, cool. We're down to 7. It's right in front of me. I can see it coming. Can I use sight?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool. So it's down to 4. Piloting.
Mm-hmm.
Free. Nope. Not free. That's not annoying. Spend for 1
Okay.
point. Can do that. Fine. Cool. And then I will roll at 1.
Okay. So it's 3 or
Way
better.
Here we go. 18.
Okay. Yeah. So
rolls
yeah,
tonight.
you
Got Venus dice back. It's fine.
yeah. I'm gonna offer you a GM intrusion.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Okay,
it.
cool.
Obviously.
So go ahead and take an XP. Give the other one to
I'm
somebody
gonna
else.
give the other one to Taeyon
Okay.
for helping me.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So you begin the. So it's not an easy thing to be able to maneuver towards where you need to go. It's not like flying in a straight line to the drop zone. You basically have to like outmaneuver and sort of work your way forwards, kind of double back, go to the side a little bit to avoid the deadly barrage that is slowly being brought to bear on you. It is a time-consuming process, one that requires a little bit of concentration and effort on your part as you are, you know, forcing to like you. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps right, like that kind of thing. It's,
Yeah.
It's not as simple as flying from point A to point B. You've managed to make it through like the initial bit as you pretty spectacularly actually. You're able to gain a little bit of ground, finding cover behind some of the natural outcroppings of the ship itself. In some cases, sort of veering away from them just at the last second, keeping as much cover as possible until you absolutely have to get out from under it. So you are making some progress, and it's at this point that you hear Hooligan over the comms. Goes,
Just got a transmission from Specialist Laura. It looks like they've outmaneuvered us. There's a whole convoy of dropships with fighter escort making their way from the other side of the planet towards the settlement.
there's a moment of pause, and you hear the captain's voice come over and say,
Major, we can't spare anybody to go deal with that. But if they land, this whole thing's for nothing. Understood. Hooligan, you ready to fly?
there's a pause, and she says,
Born ready, Major. Alright, rendezvous with Specialist Laura. She'll help you out in the shuttle, provide support. Don't let a single one of those dropships land, understood? Yes, sir.
And you can see, even on your scopes, as you look down, you can see as one of the fighters peels off and immediately starts maneuvering back, as the other fighters, the rest of Scrapyard Squadron, creates a hole basically for Hooligan to fly back to the settlement. All right. Also, welcome Cypher Unlimited. Thank you so much for the raid.
Oh,
You always seem to catch us when they're in the middle of blood pumping
Combat.
space action.
Intense vital
Blood
battles.
pumping space action. That's well said. Love that.
All right. So, all right. Bina, you are in the process of making your way to along through this barrage of this large frigate that is basically targeting only you, as you are the only ship large enough to target with its big
Good.
guns.
Keep your eyes on me, and then it's not gonna hurt our friends.
All right. So, as they retarget to follow your position, I need you to make another speed defense roll here. The difficulty on this one is also going to be 8. But I believe you still have the distortion that
Say
Tam.
that's for a
Last one, yeah.
minute, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna count down because if I guess, I'll get it wrong. So 7 minus 3 for sight,
Yep.
down to 4, 2 for piloting.
Yep.
Does Alma give me a asset
She
here
can
for
on this
my
one. The
co-pilot?
previous one, no, but on this one she can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, co-pilot.
Yeah, because she's no longer helping Taeon. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so she can help you
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I want to save my speed, so I'm gonna roll on 1.
Okay. So you just need a 3 or better right now.
5.
Okay, perfect.
This isn't a clear dice, and I'm always like, wait, what is that number?
I somehow, whenever I need to roll for anything, I somehow always choose the ones that I can't read, and I don't know why. So yeah, you once again darting and diving around.
By the skin of my teeth.
Like at one point, you can see sort of like a place where the hull plating creates sort of a natural groove that's just big enough for Awakener to duck down into,
yeah.
as several blasts go right through where you would have been going, as you just basically do your own trench run along the hull and then pop back up. And as you do so, you see your scopes light up, and Alma confirms, just landing zone up ahead. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it. Drop team.
All right.
Ready?
Vix looks down at the crash webbing, and he just says, "Oh, thank goodness." He like unbuckles himself and stands up, and takes the rifle that he confiscated from the pirates before, and just sort of straps it over his shoulder. He says, "Okay, I'm ready." He says, "Check this out." And he reaches down, pulls one of the cylinders that the sort of metallic cylinders that Creve dropped, and he just sort of taps a button on it, and you watch as this sort of metallic cord starts sort of coming out from it, and then you watch as it just sort of electrifies. And he says,
Cool.
"Pretty cool, right?"
You've had that the whole time?
Well, I mean, somebody. It's not like the pirate was using it, and he retracts it
Cool.
and hooks it into his belt. Says,
Are they in enviro suits? with,
yeah, they would have to
magnets
be in
and
basically they'd have to have that kind of thing. I'm thinking in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, right, when Sulu and the others they jump out of it's that kind of suit,
Yeah.
that sort of form-fitting kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
All right. Incoming.
All right, you see
You better stay safe. It says we're
Have fun out there.
you see as you basically step out into the airlock essentially, and the door closes behind you as you, Taeon, and Vix and Ada all kind of just sort of stand there holding on to the jump lines essentially, as the boarding ramp lowers, and as it does, you can see at terrifying speed below you the hull of the Voidcaller just rushing past below. As Vix looked down, he goes, "Whew, that's a lot further down than I thought it was. You sure these thrusters will be enough to keep us from going splat on the hull?"
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
That's what I was afraid you'd say. And he looks down and says, "Okay." And he
I think-
just, yeah.
I was gonna say Bina's gonna go on while we're flying on comms to Vix, just to be like, "You're an empath. Use it to your advantage. You're working with 2 professionals. Feed off of them."
And Vix just, and before he can do anything, Ada just runs past both of you and just swan dives out.
Love.
You can see before as she vanishes underneath
where
Awakener,
it's
she just immediately just cast.
Tails fucking laughing like, oh god damn it, she beat me to it. And he's gonna immediately jump out as well.
Yeah. Vix runs after you, and you can hear in like over like the helmet comms, you hear oh shit, as the three of you basically, well, two of you in free fall as Ada just sort of like dives down and then just like wings out very suddenly as she just flutters down, sort of slowing her descent. Between that and like the suit's 0G thrusters, just sort of firing to sort of. All right, Tan, I'm gonna need you to make a roll. This is gonna be a speed roll.
Hell yeah.
The difficulty of this speed roll is going to be 5.
Okay.
This is essentially, this is effectively a tumble check. Is basically what this is.
Okay, a check. Okay. 5. I'll use a level of effort.
Okay.
For sure. But that's all I can do with this.
Alright.
So, yeah, 12 or better.
Okay. Yep. Just need 12 or better.
15.
Okay, perfect. So, as you basically go into free fall, you fight every like reflex in your body to just trigger the suit's thrusters, and then you wait for an opportune moment. And as soon as like out of the corner of your eye, you see Ada just suddenly like shoot back up past you. You trigger those thrusters and just sort of, as you basically go from like a free fall, like spread eagle kind of like fall to suddenly being like brought upright by the thrusters and gently touch down on the hull of this large frigate.
If Ada like lands, she'll probably land before
Yeah.
me, probably more gracefully as well. I'd like 100% give her like a fist bump.
Yeah.
It's like that. Would...
Yeah, it's literally like the two of you standing there in your like suits and whatever, fist bump, and then Vix lands somewhat less gracefully, just sort of like behind you. Like he like goes down and like rolls, does a couple rolls on the hull, and then just sort of like lands on his back. She's like,
You good?
that was terrifying and horrible and one of the worst experiences of my life. Yeah, I'm fine. And he stands up. He like pulls himself back up.
They were probably here. Drop team status.
We're good. We landed safe and sound. Kind of looks at Vix like, I mean, we landed at the very least. Vix is good.
He just
so.
thumbs up. He just-
Okay, kick ass.
Stay frosty.
All right.
Yes, good.
So, with that, Bina, you in Awakener are able to now disengage from like the main portion of this, of all of this. As Taeon, you, Vix, and Ada start basically just sort of sprinting across the hull, making your way towards the nearest area of ingress, which is that large hangar bay door on the top of the hull. So, I'm gonna cut away to that, to Awakener. You hear Hooligan's voice over comms.
Scratch 3. We're almost done here. Just 2 more dropships, 1 more fighter.
And you, basically like hear all of that going down. You hear like the chatter of Scrapyard Squadron, just, you know.
Can we help them, or is that
At this point,
would we have to backtrack too much?
you can backtrack, but the thing is, you're gonna have to go through fighters to get there.
That's true. Crew, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
I
mean,
mean,
we
we're
should
gonna... Oh, go ahead.
we should help them if we can, but that means we have to go through all that again and then back.
We can't do anything from here at all.
I mean, you
Not
can
for
help out.
planet
You can
size.
help out here.
We can help here,
yeah.
yeah, but we can't help the planet side from here. How are the scrambled squadron here doing?
They're having a rough time with like keeping up with Scrapyard, but numbers are numbers. So, like,
Are they like enemy ships here, are they flying like tactically? Are they like in formation, or is this completely like
they are
chaos?
flying in formation. It's not as
Okay.
disciplined, not nearly as disciplined as Scrapyard Squadron is, and not nearly as in sync, but they are, yeah, flying in formation.
Okay, I want to ruin some formations.
Okay. Sounds good. All right,
Kind of what I did last time. I want to get in their way. Like,
sounds good.
if they're chasing someone down, I want to scatter them. Like, if they're like, I want to fuck some
Okay,
shit up.
perfect.
I can't shoot. I can't fire, but
Okay, so you're basically just disrupting a bunch of you're flying through the formations to disrupt them,
I
basically.
want to disrupt their enemy
Okay,
formations. Yeah.
sounds good. I will say,
I will let Scrapyard Squadron know
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want to like if they have something I don't want to fuck their shit up.
yeah. So basically, you get patched in. You basically get patched in with on Blue Group's frequency at this point, and so now you're coordinating with them, being led by Captain Zadzima. She's the one who's leading Blue Group.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't just do things like we're working with people.
All right. You hear the captain's voice.
Good to have you, Awakener. Form up on me.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, here's what I'm gonna have you do. I'm gonna have.
I think it's a red line maneuver is what I did last.
Oh,
time.
true. If that's what you want to do, yeah. So then, if you want to unlock red line maneuvers, then I would say, go ahead and spend. You have to spend 1 XP for that.
Let's do it.
Okay. Perfect. So everybody is aware. Yes, I mean I do mean everywhere because this is how red line maneuvers work. The intrusion range has now increased.
Is it just for ship-related things? Like, does this affect the team in the?
I don't think this affects the ground team.
Okay. Cool.
So, but like just on the ship, the intrusion range is now 1 to 3.
Okay.
It's okay, guys. It's not that bad.
So it is now possible to
She says
succeed.
from
It is now
experience.
possible to succeed on a task, but also get an intrusion. So,
Intrusion, yeah.
Yeah. Then in that case, you also will get.
What does that do
It
for
gives
me?
you a
I don't
reduction.
remember
It'll
what...
give you a reduction here.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I never remember. I'm like, I'll do something. I don't know what it does.
it
but
gives
I
you
wanna do it.
basically 1 reduction and one range increase per XP spent on the red line maneuver, basically.
Cool.
The thing is that now you don't have to. Nobody else has to make the spend in order to make use of this, though. So, but every time somebody does make a red line maneuver at this point, the range does increase. So, but basically anybody can like call on that maneuver and use it to reduce by 1. So,
Basically, my hope here is that I want to like benefit Scrapyard by busting some
sure, yeah,
enemy formations.
absolutely.
Like, that's all I want to do for this. Hopefully, give them some advantageous because if they can stay in formation and everyone else is scrambling, like, hopefully that'll
Okay.
help.
Then, in that case, go ahead and give me a. This is going to be with that 1 reduction. This is going to be a difficulty 3. Yeah.
Piloting
Yeah.
eyesight.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to you mostly because I like there's not a good enough reason for me to not give it to you.
She's built for piloting.
there's-
That is why she's built
There's
for pilot.
not a good enough
So that's-
reason for me to not let you do that because yeah. So
Yeah, so I eat the whole
yeah,
thing.
perfect. Are you gonna roll it all?
No,
Okay,
not on this
cool.
one. Maybe the next
Okay,
one.
so-
I rolled really well last time, and I'm gonna hang on to that feeling.
So in that case, then as you fly directly at one of these somewhat undisciplined formations, you actually find a hole where like one sort of didn't quite catch up with the rest, and you gauge probably enough room for Awakener to fit through, but with put a bit of a scare on them. You effortlessly, like you just fly right through the gap, narrowly avoiding a collision, which of course is exactly what you were after, as they just sort of scatter. The formation just scatters. So actually at this point, Mason or Peach, you can feel free to do anything at this point.
Yeah.
Because they can't really retaliate at the moment.
pot shots if you wanted. Alma didn't help me, so she could help with targeting if you wanted, and I didn't do anything that increased the attack range. So
That's true.
Yeah. Pew pew at some pirates.
All right.
yeah.
Perfect. So right now
Pew pew.
it's going to be a difficulty 4. But if you're
Hit him in their good eye.
if you're getting assistance from Alma, it's going to be a difficulty 3.
Okay. Oh well. That's all I've got.
I mean, you can always you can always redline if you wanted to.
No, that's okay. I'll spend some. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Can I use some intellect?
Peach could probably go before you.
Yeah, I could do it. I could do a
I mean,
scan
this is-
real quick before
if it
you
helps,
to
this
get
is
you.
also it's an attack, but it's like a speed. I would say this would be a speed thing. So like, you have no, I don't think so. I was gonna say you have training, but not in this. Not this.
Do you have accuracy? Does that not help?
No.
I don't have accuracy. I don't have training in big.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
This would definitely count as heavy weapons, or at least as
Yeah, heavy weapons.
Ship weapons.
weapons.
Probably,
Bigger
to
than
be honest.
what
I
I'm
think
good
it's
at,
probably a
definitely
separate
ship.
Yeah,
class.
definitely.
I mean, I have a dexterity power ship, but I don't know if that
No.
works here for gunning. I think we talked about that last
Yeah, no,
time.
that doesn't work here.
That's more defense.
Okay.
Um,
So right now it's a difficulty 2, right? Because Alma, and then you
Oh,
spent,
okay.
right?
yeah, and I spent some intellect because I can.
Speed,
yeah,
not
that's
intellect.
okay with me.
Speed.
Or speed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the investigator can draw from any
Oh,
pool
right,
for
right,
any.
right, right.
for anything, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so, but right now I don't really have to worry about that, but I will, it just makes more
Sure.
sense to do speed here. So I'll spend from the speed pool.
Okay.
And I'll roll there, because that sounds like fun.
Perfect.
I almost
So
lost
that's a
what the die
difficulty
were.
2 right now. Okay. So 6 or better is what you need.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't you know it, I rolled a 3.
Oh. Okay. So here's the fun thing. That's an intrusion. That is a GM intrusion. So, as you, so you fire, and as you do so, you ooh, hold on. How do I want to do this? Okay. So, okay, here, I've got it. So as you fire, the Awakener is very suddenly rocked, as one of the fighters, Vina makes her maneuver, Mason, you fired simultaneously, trying to get any of them as you were going through the swarm of them. One of them swerved to get out of Vina's way, and as you fired, it swerved to avoid it and didn't check well enough, and slams right into Awakener, just like basically side checking Awakener. As both ships just sort of move together. I'm actually going to need Bina and Peach and Mason all to make. We're going to say. I think these are going to be might defense rolls, frankly.
Not speed defense.
You're not avoiding anything here. This is
Yeah.
like you're bracing here. This is
We're trying to
Yeah,
brace
you're
against
strapped in.
impact.
You're
yeah,
bracing
yeah.
in,
You're
yeah.
strapped in.
If I'm
You're
strapped in.
yeah. This is gonna be a might
there's-
defense roll, and the difficulty on this one's gonna be. I'm gonna call this a difficulty 3.
I love how we're all so we have no might.
I have nothing to reduce.
I have a
my-
might edge of 0.
Yeah. No,
I-
there's an edge of 0, and I have nothing I can add to these.
I'm
Okay.
gonna definitely. Okay, go. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go.
I'm just thinking out loud. I do have edge in might.
Okay. So you could spend.
So it might help.
And it wouldn't be. It would be. Yeah, you could spend from your
Does
might.
being strapped in help?
I don't think it's good. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Ouch. Sorry.
Okay.
I need to get my make it worse.
So what's the difficulty? It's just a
Difficulty's
roll.
3.
I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I guess I could spend effort.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, you right now it's a 9 or better what you need. So.
So
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna put some edge in that.
So you're
Just
yeah you're
because
gonna
like
spend.
I'm not a mighty boy. Yeah.
I'm gonna
just gonna bring
spend
it down.
one level of
Okay.
effort here.
Yeah, I'm gonna put one edge into that.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
So I think for me that's a total cost of 2 points from your might pool to put that level of effort in.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I rolled a 12.
Okay. Cool.
good. 17.
Ooh, all right.
I didn't reduce at all.
Excellent.
13.
Okay,
so I've
so
never
all of
been
you
in
managed to
school.
brace just in time as as Awakener just sort of like bucks very suddenly under the impact. You can hear the sound of like Awakener's impact alarm and the proximity alert simultaneously just like playing off of each
How
other.
does Alma react to that? She wince?
She definitely
like, is that,
does.
Like...
She definitely winces. She goes, whew. Ooh, try not to do that again.
Venus just going, sorry. So we're like,
you get over the intercom.
speeding
You hear Jade's voice.
Voice. All right, don't worry, I'm on it.
Thank you.
Uh,
Keep me posted.
Bina, you are immediately, without even having to like hear a report from Jade, you're feeling Awakener is not quite as responsive as it was before.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And a moment later, you do hear Jade confirm. Says,
Looks like our starboard thrusters, maneuvering thrusters, are having a problem. Don't worry, I'll try to reconnect some stuff. Give me a second.
Okay.
um,
Venus just swearing under her breath over and over again.
yeah.
Can I help at all from the like substation where I am, or is it like a purely
I
mechanical
think you
issue?
theoretically could be able to. You could try to reroute some power.
Yeah, that's because I have effect repair, which is exactly for this
Yeah,
circumstance.
exactly. No,
So
rerouting power would absolutely
like route
help.
power
Yeah.
from like the quarters into the...
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that you could totally do that. So, ooh, I'm looking at the wrong chart. Okay, so effect repair. Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna say the difficulty is actually the same as the damage on this for the damage. Like, so it's difficulty 3 to do this.
Okay.
It'll intellect task. So.
Okay. So free level of effort. So it's 6 or better. And then I'm gonna spend 1 more level of effort.
Sounds good.
Okay. So 3 or better. Oh my god, I thought that was a 1. It's a 7.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. You quickly go to the console and sort of seeing something that you've seen Bina do many times before. Just sort of like probably even like learned a little bit from from Bina directly. You just quickly go to the console, start rerouting power away from basically systems that aren't using it at the moment. Things like Bina, like Caitlin said, like from like quarters, from like all that sort of stuff. Just starting to reroute power away, and giving it all to like thrust. Well, actually, where are you putting it? Shields, thrusters.
I mean, the thrusters are the things that are busted right now, right? So
Right.
Probably court ask Jade where to put
That's
it.
true. Yeah.
yeah, I'd probably have to conference Jade in on that
That's
one.
fair. I will say that the thing, given with that conversation, I will say that probably the thing that makes the most sense right now is Awakener is not going to be as maneuverable until Jade gets the thrusters back
So
online.
shields?
Shield's probably the way to go. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it into
Yeah.
shields.
Okay. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
giving the
that's
shields a
good.
bit of a boost here. Perfect. So, as you are doing that, you hear some of the comm chatter come in. You hear Alel's voice saying,
Hooligan, I took a hit. I'm not sure I'm going to be of much use to you here. That's all right, Specialist. Make your way back to the settlement. Touchdown. I can't have you being blown out of the sky out here. Understood. You handle these last two? I got him.
So, yeah. So, there's as you continue maneuvering, flying around, eventually you hear Alel's voice once again.
Hooligan, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. I got a little cooked on that one, but the last fighter's down. Just the dropship left. Last dropship. Oh.
You hear the Major's voice.
Major, what's your status? Sir, having a bit of an issue. That last fighter... I had to pull a bit of a maneuver to take it down. My weapon systems are down. I've got nothing. Actually... thrusters are failing. All I've got is maneuvering thrusters right now, sir. Hooligan, land safely. We'll deal with them on the ground. I'll divert some of the...
You just hear her cut him off.
Sir, no. If you send any help to me right now, the rest of Scrapyard is gonna take casualties. I've got this. Hooligan, stand down. That's an order. Awakener?
We hear you.
Make him hurt. Hooligan out.
You hear the Major's voice.
Hooligan, god damn it!
Major, do you need us here?
Says,
We'll mop him up. Do what you can.
We're out of there immediately.
yeah. As you rush your way back towards the settlement, and even from this distance, you can see where there's one dropship, sort of a dark dot on the horizon, making its way towards the settlement. And up above, you can see Hooligan. You can see her mostly as a black dot with a black trail of smoke just coming from behind her. And you see that. Bina, you can tell even from over here, it looks like she's gliding that ship. She is gliding it. She has no propulsion. You can see her making micro adjustments with maneuvering thrusters.
Awakener to Hooligan.
You got nothing. You get no response.
Gotta get in there.
If you can hear me, incoming, and I want to use decrease separation, boost us forward. The piloting task negates the chance of losing an enemy craft, but it's to just get somewhere faster and stay closer. So I'm assuming I can probably use it to close the distance.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have you roll, but I'm gonna say as you get there, as you're arriving, you get closer and closer, and you can see Hooligan has basically angled her fighter directly above that dropship and is now angling herself down into a nosedive. And as you arrive,
Awakener to Hooligan. Pull up.
You just hear, the comm crackle and say,
Thanks for everything.
Can I look over at Alma? I see if you can reach that ship.
She looks at you and says, I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah, moist mod.
says, I'm doing everything I can. Bina, I don't think we're going to. And as she doesn't finish the sentence, as you see Hooligan's fighter crash directly right through, splitting that gunship or the dropship in half, as both of them just collide. You see just sort of a ballooning of fire. And as you look, you can see there is just a trail of black smoke as the fire just quickly extinguishes from just like the sheer force of like the winds whipping at it, and you watch as 3 distinct hunks of metal just quickly lose altitude and descend towards.
Do we have anything like a tractor beam? Anything? We've done something with that sort of like polarity, we've done that before, but I don't know if we have that capability on the ship. Can we slow the descent of Hooligan's piece of shrapnel?
Yeah, you can do that. You arrive as you kind of maneuver down into that that space.
I'd like it to not hit the ground hard.
Go ahead. Actually, this would be a Mason thing because Mason's targeting right now.
Are we within app mode also? That's another question.
You are.
Before...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what am I rolling?
So I need you to roll this is going to be a speed task, and the difficulty of this is going to be 5.
What can
Can
I?
you get an asset from Alma?
Yeah.
She's not helping
Yeah.
me.
Okay, that brings it down to a 4. How much speed can I spend to just make this happen? Can I can I just spend an XP?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Player
I'm just gonna-
intrusion.
I'm
yeah,
just gonna
player
spend an
player
XP.
intrusion. Yeah, you can totally do that. As you you can see just this wreckage falling. You actually look through that wreckage, and you can actually see what appears to be actually you pretty quickly pick it out. What looks like an ejector seat that never fired. And even from this distance, your scopes are showing that there is somebody currently strapped to it, motionless. As the seat, you can pick that out. And as you do, you target that spot with Alma's sort of assistance, sort of sending you data. You look over and you fire the tractor beam, catching hold of Hooligan's pilot seat, and quickly maneuvering her out of the field of falling debris.
Is the ship and Hooligan?
No, just the seat. It's basically like
Just the
the
seat.
ejector seat that's designed to just sort of send somebody out,
Launch the
but this
pilot
one
out.
clearly didn't launch because it doesn't have like any of like the chutes or anything like that.
Bina, can you let me out of the ship?
Yeah.
Mason's going to like run to the nearest exit.
Okay. Yeah, you go over
And-
towards where the boarding ramp is lowered, where Hooligan is basically suspended out there. You can see her
Mm.
suspended in that.
I'm like not even gonna wait.
Mhm.
I'm just going to activate the thing, and I'm just gonna like jump and I'm gonna fly over
Yeah.
there.
You can feel that warmth against your skin as it activates, and you just sort of soar. As Bina has basically been holding Awakener in place so that you could target, you fly out towards where the tractor beam is slowly pulling Hooligan in. You fly out to meet her, and you can see, even in like underneath all of her, like her helmet is still on, although you can see the visor is cracked and half of it is shattered. She's still strapped into her seat. Clearly none of the ejector functions fired. As you fly out over to the seat, you grab onto the seat. It's sort of like revolving slowly in the air in the tractor beam. What are you doing?
Helmet off, if it's safe, right?
Yeah, you're in Atmo.
Yeah. I'm gonna just helmet
Mhm.
off, and just try to like loosen anything that's like too
Yeah.
tight.
You reach out and kind
Just
of
like cut the straps.
You just kind of cut through like crash webbing, and she just sort of like limply sort of falls into your arms. She's not moving.
Pulse.
You feel around for a second. She's gone.
If her eyes aren't closed yet, I just kind of close them.
Yeah.
Damn it, Hooligan.
You look down just in time to see the wreckage just impact on the side of the mountain down below. Pieces just sort of scattering about.
You're in a better place. I hope.
And I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight.
Okay.
God damn.
Been a while.
Mhm.
Wow.
Realities of revolution.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So, well, thank you everybody for hanging out, for sticking around. Those of you who came in during the raid, if you're still around, thank you for for hanging out and for joining us for this. So yeah, we will be back next week with the continuation of this very intense situation. But yeah, where we will pick up with the landing team. So
Oh, Taryn has no idea what just happened.
Yeah, no, that's gonna.
Oh gosh.
uh,
Okay. All right.
all right, everybody.
Oh my gosh, guys.
thanks. Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, good zone, everybody.
Take care of yourselves.
take-
We love y'all.
Yeah, I think for the sake of
Go to the,
yes,
just go to the
just go to the
Discord.
Discord. cry
Go to the
cry together in the
Discord.
Discord.
You can yell at all of us.
Yeah. All right.
There was nothing we could do.
We could have gone.
I mean, I could have.
Thank you, John. I couldn't type the Discord fast. Thank you, John.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Well, thanks everybody. We will see you hopefully Friday for Ramblemancy, where our guest will be Chans, who will be here to talk with us about anything and everything. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. I'm very excited. We wanted to have Chans on for a long time, so we're gonna have her, and it'll be great. So yeah, we will hopefully see you then. But if not, we'll see you the next time you decide to come roll with us. Good night and good zone, everybody.